right, folks. We're just 2 minutes away from the show we've all been waiting for, The Lion's Den. You know it's about to be crazy, interesting, and downright hilarious tonight. If you've been here before, you already know why this is one of the few shows that keeps you glued to the screen the entire time. The host, fearless. What can I say? The man's a legend. Handsome, well-built, and an intellectual powerhouse. Quick-witted doesn't even begin to describe him. This guy handles every topic like a pro and never misses a beat. And you can't forget Keenal from Black Man Travels. Deep thinker, always dropping knowledge, bringing those big conversations that really make you sit back and reflect. He's all about opening up your mind to new perspectives. Oh, and when Ronan steps in, it's a whole different vibe. The man brings balance, discipline, and humor all wrapped into one. He's the kind of guy that can crack you up 1 second and drop wisdom the next. This is grown folks talk. No nonsense, no drama. Just real, respectful conversations. They get into the deep stuff, but they always respect everyone's viewpoint. You can trust the Lion's Den to bring real, unfiltered, adult conversations with that perfect mix of intellect and fun. You've got your popcorn ready, right? Because in just about a minute, this place is gonna light up. Get comfortable, hit that subscribe button if you haven't, and make sure you're locked in. Let's go. The Lion's Den is about to start.
All right, it's almost time. I've been waiting for this all week. Is it just me, or does time slow down when you're waiting for the Lion's Den to start?
Come on, let's go. I got things to say tonight. I'm ready to hop on the panel. You better have subscribed already. If you haven't hit that subscribe button and smashed the like by now, what are you waiting for? You gotta support the Den, people.
Hit that notification bell too, unless you want to miss out and hear about it later.
This is the show you don't want to miss. Every week I'm here waiting. The energy, the conversations is about to get real.
Tick tock, I swear this is the longest minute of my life.
Tick tock, tick tock. The panel tonight's gonna be fire. I can feel it. Who's joining tonight? Let's go. Hit that subscribe button already.
Yo, grab your popcorn, grab your drink. It's about to go down. You're not ready for what's coming. I got my snacks, my drink,
And I'm locked in.
Let's get this show started.
All right. Quiet down. The show's about to start. Everyone ready?
Silence. The Lion's Den is about to begin. Let's go.
Welcome, fellas. Welcome. Glad to see you guys are back. You know,
hey, there's a lot of
morning,
motion. Everybody's moving around. You over back and forth between DR. Canals back and forth between Florida, picking up family, moving them around, bringing them into homes. And I'm way out here 13 hours, 14, 12 hours ahead of most of y'all in the Philippines. Tell me ain't doing things. We doing things. We busy. Life is lifing, as Canal says. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. Life is life, and that's what it's all about.
I know you think you're doing something over there, but I did when I took this picture specifically for you to let you know that we got these in the States, brother. We got the yellow seedless watermelons.
Oh,
$5.99. A little expensive, but we do have them. So I know you were.
But these have seeds. These are actually real watermelons. There ain't no seedless HMO grown watermelons. Okay, these are real non-HMO or GMO, non-GMO watermelons over here. Tastes good, man. This is really good. You know, but I heard they grew them in Mississippi. I think it was J. Clyde and a couple other brothers that said, no, they have them in Mississippi too. You know what I mean?
So let's do a little, before we get into it, let's just do a round table. How you guys doing? I know Canal's been in Florida with the family. That's a great thing for the summer. I dropped the kid off. I just, like, you know how they do it, man. I left him there for a little while.
Yeah, actually, we had to go to Florida. My wife's mother is in town, so she came from the Dominican Republic. She's gonna be with us for 3 months, so we had to go down to Miami and pick her up. Spent some time with my mom. We actually hosted a seafood broil to host her mother. So her mother got the chance to experience lobster, crawfish, stone crab legs, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so my sister did it all. They designed the backyard, everything to welcome her mother. So her mother was super excited to see that. And one thing I love to see is that it was Haitians and Dominicans all in one house.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have to understand the optics around this. Haitians and Dominicans in one house playing bachata, kumpa, eating the same food, talking to each other, man. Like stuff you see on social media and over the news, man. Sometimes you just have to create your own little world, and I have that, and I'm going to protect that. So it was a beautiful experience, and I was able to take a picture of my mother and her mother with our son. So he's in the middle, and you got the Haitian grandmother, the Dominican grandmother, and you got the mix.
Wow.
Yeah, but right between them, and that was a beautiful picture, man. It was nice. It was nice. Now she's here in Atlanta, just enjoying herself, doing babysitting duties, man.
So did the baby have a plantain in his hand or a machete? Which one?
Man, listen, man. Let me tell you this 1-year-old eats rice and beans like it ain't nothing. He eats fried bananas, he like fried plantains. He doesn't eat baby food. He wants rice and beans, steak, chicken, whatever. Sancocho, he'll eat it. So we definitely got an island baby in the house. So it's all good.
That's fantastic. Rona, how you doing over there in the Philippines? It's in the morning, you know, you probably just getting the sleep out your eye, waking up.
Oh no, brother, I've been up, did a walked to the coffee shop, got coffee. My girl done cooked me breakfast already, you know, served me up, got a little drink sitting over here, not no alcohol, obviously it's early in the morning, but you know, everything's settling in pretty good, man. I'm gonna look at a different property on Monday. I'm not really happy with the one I was just telling Canal. You know, y'all got to do like a global, like what is it? Google global map or something like that.
Yeah.
Those Airbnbs look outstanding online, but they leave out certain pictures. Like that walk up is a killer. You know, you don't know where you coming from. You thinking you pulling right into an estate or something. Nah, bro. No, this one was offset off the street. I had to walk through like a mechanic garage in order to get to the front of the building. It's a family-owned compound. Inside looks nice. That walk up though, you know what I mean? And they were trying to perpetrate like you had free parking and all. Man, they'd have to move all kind of cars out the way, or you parking on the street. But it is what it is. I'm here. You know what I'm saying?
They are deceiving. I've got lucky. The Airbnb I stayed in was pretty nice. They did deceive it because it did look like the pool was right there, like you would be walking out from your place to the pool, but it was actually a community pool. But nobody was ever there, so you know, it wasn't even I guess the time we would swim, no one would be there. When I came out at night, so after this, which is weird to me, after the sun went down, like at 7:00,
everybody,
a few people in the pool, yeah. I guess they don't like the sun no matter what. Like even in the pool, what's going on?
It's crazy, man. And you know what, Fearless? My wife loves the sun now because she learned after this winter how pale her skin got. We start seeing veins. Like I can see my veins now. Like because you white. And now, dude, she stays in the freaking sun. She goes to the pool every day in the morning around 1 o'clock ish. Trying to get that suntan. I'm like, I told you you're gonna love that sun after you move to the States. And now, man, it's like, yo, I need to get darker. Exactly. It's like, yeah, because you became so pale and white.
And what people don't understand, man, they get sad because you don't have the vitamin D.
Yep.
You know, and like with the little one, they was, you know, oh, you got to supplement with vitamin D. I'm like, man, the vitamin D is free. That bottle costs $12. we getting it free right outside here. So, you know, you see a lot of people that I guess they just don't take in the sun, you know. So
they don't realize how important that sun is, man. Especially as they get older. You want to stay your ass in that sun as you get older.
Yes.
Oh, I got pills issued to me for vitamin D3. I ain't gonna need them here. But yeah, I wasn't going out in the sun in America as much as I am here. So that's a whole nother thing, yeah. And actually, I heard vitamin D actually contributes to muscle growth as well. So, you know, y'all gotta step outside. Yeah,
it's life. Vitamin D gives you life, and actually affects your testosterone as well. So for all my brothers out there that's experiencing some ED, sit your ass outside in the sun, man. You'll probably feel a whole lot better.
Yep.
Stop taking them goddamn blue pills.
I ain't never had a problem with that part.
I got a chance to spend 13 days. I think I was there 13 days in DR. So did some resorts, did some spent some time up in Hadabacoa, which I went to some different sections this time, more for the rivers, in a place where like 3 rivers meet. A little horseback riding in the river, and man, I got to get my us on this phone. I just want to show you how nice the people are when you're there. There's a park, and I just bought some Presidentes and beer, and I'm joking with the people behind there. So there's an older lady, looks like maybe that's the mother, and 2 other girls, and I'm asking, who's married. And the girl who was cooking, she said, I'm married. I said, yeah, I know you got to be married because you cooking good. And the other girl was like, yeah, I'm not married. I'm like, yeah, because, the police officer was there. He's like, yeah, because her ass don't cook. Exactly. But with that said, the grandmother, man, just off her plate, she's like, take some food. And I'm like, nah, I can't take it, baby. You got to feed that to me. Show me what you got. This is an old lady. So she's feeding it to me. But it just goes to show how the nature of the people are there. And I did a video when I was in a little cafeteria, just how nice the person was. And she see me smiling at her, and she's like, why he smiling? I was like, man, just your whole attitude, the way you came off, I wouldn't even say customer service, because it wasn't that. It was just a pleasant way of being. It's like, you just missed that. And it cost her nothing. It was absolutely nothing that it cost for her to do that. So it's a wonderful time.
You know what? A smile will get you far in life. People don't realize that. So for me, I smile, I'll acknowledge you. But the minute you give me your ass to kiss, fuck you. So that's just my personality. But still, I'll come in, I will acknowledge you, I'll smile. But I think sometimes it's an American thing, man. I think we've become a very closed society, and people are becoming very antisocial within a social environment.
Well, that might bring us right to our topic. Are we antisocial amongst other countries?
I think it's more than that. It's way more than that, man.
I'm gonna say this. Being prior military, and traveling the world in that respect of how welcome we are in other countries as a veteran or going in as active duty military, we're received very, 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 very well. In a lot of countries, they really appreciate us being there, but we're not doing anything to damage their culture or country because we're very respectful. As young men start traveling, whether you're going to call them passport bros or whatever, and depending on how they were raised, we were taught to be very, reserved when we go into these countries. We're taught to respect those cultures. A lot of kids aren't even taught to be respectful in their own country, let alone some other countries. But when it comes to immigration and what's going on now, I think a lot of people are self-entitled with President Trump being in office. You got people allowed to say whatever they want, and that's fine. You can, without any kind of respect or honoring who those people are as humans. I think ultimately this is going to wind up backfiring for a lot of Americans. And right now, you can see it even with the visa process. A lot of countries that would normally give you free visa access into their countries, I think there's 13 more. I think I want to say Passport Blueprint just brought this up. There's a lot of countries that are now starting to cause Americans to have to apply for visas. Well, we were able to roam around the planet initially up front up to 90 days in some countries for no visas. So it's kind of working against us while we're messing around with the ICE thing and immigration laws and, who's right, who's wrong, who should be here. We can sort that out, but the tariffs are backfiring on a lot of countries. That's a fight in itself for us. And now we got immigration laws that are imposing, we're kicking other people out. You don't think those other countries are going to be offended when we have they have Americans running around in their country? We're immigrants. I'm an immigrant. I have to renew my visa every 30 days, every 60 days here.
But I have to
Oh.
give some pushback, man. I'm sorry.
I was gonna give a whole lot of pushback, but go
I-
ahead.
Go ahead.
You know what?
But you understand this. And before you push back, y'all going to the DR, y'all going to Colombia. It's different in other countries. Okay, but go
No,
ahead.
it's not. No, it's not. It's the same shit.
Okay,
Here's the thing. I'm speaking as a Haitian. Sorry, I got ice in my mouth. Let me swallow
don't
real
spit it out, bro. This don't spit it
Hey,
out.
hey, I ain't gonna spit, man. God damn, bro. All right, man. As a former illegal Haitian that came into this country on a raft boat with my mother illegally in 1978, we came into this country illegally. Just like that.
People like this, yeah.
Yep, that's me. I came into this country just like this in 1978, where I landed in Miami. I was 6 months old with my mother. Granted, being in this country without any papers was hard for my mother. My mother had to do bullshit jobs. She had to work the fields. She had to go pick up watermelon, strawberry, do shit, working 12, 14-hour days. I remember that as a child until my mother filed for her papers. My mother did not waste any time and effort. She saved as much as she could and filed her papers. She got a green card. I got my green card. Then once we became American citizen, she went back to Haiti and got all her kids to come back. All my brothers and sisters came into this country afterwards. But guess what? My mother followed the law. She did things the right way. And again, this woman did not speak any English, but she knew she needed to have her papers. And she didn't waste any time. You have people who've been here for 30 fucking years that say, you know what, fuck, I'm not going to do my papers. I'm just going to go ahead and just do things illegally. Is that fair for the people who came to try to do it the right way, to get skipped over by people who just come in and just take over and like, hey, you know what, we're going to just do what we want to do. Fuck what anybody has to say that came before us. Because like, living in an immigrant community, I lived in the immigrant community. I lived in the whole Hispanic community, and their views towards blacks, other black immigrants, black Americans was always negative.
Mm-hmm.
Always. So for me, this whole thing needed to happen because this shit was getting too crazy. These past couple of years, you have people from all over Latin America and from Eastern Europe, from the Caribbean, come here bragging about what they're getting and how to take advantage of the system. While me, as a taxpayer, now that I'm an American citizen and a taxpayer, I got to cover that. When I go to the grocery store and I see an immigrant that can't even speak English, but yet has 2 large carts of groceries, who's paying for that? While my little $100 groceries is carried in a little box. So my thing is this, man. My mother did it the right way. Why you can't? And also too, my mother taught us at a very young age. She told me and my brothers and sisters, you got 2 strikes against you. 1, you're an immigrant. 2, you're black. Don't fuck up. Don't go out there and get arrested. Don't put attention to yourself. But now these new age immigrants come here, they want the attention. They want to brag. They want to, create this small exclusion where, you know what, they trying to bring their own people in, but yet they forget about the Americans that are here already. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, for me, every country has an immigrant visa process. We got to follow it. The whole situation with Haiti and Dominican Republic, that's very close to me. I'm married to a Dominican. I'm Haitian. You don't think I follow and listen to what people say? The ignorance and the negative comments, what people say, the ignorant, I said ignorance already, but I understand Dominican Republic stance. They got to protect their borders. They don't know who's coming in, who's coming out. I totally get it. But guess what? Haiti need to get their shit together. We've been saying that for years. So it's no different than all these other countries, Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, Belize, even the Caribbean, Cuba. Get your shit together. It is what it is. You can't get mad for the United States now decided to protect their borders. You just can't.
And I know what you're saying, Ronan, about, there's some countries with the visa and things like that. They'll stop it. Because the harder they make it for a person from the United States to go to the country, the less money they get from tourism.
Thank you.
United States, when we go, we spend money. I mean, you're talking about hotels, rental cars, restaurants, and usually we're going to go to the restaurants that the locals don't go to. Locals not affording those steakhouses and the big places and doing that. When just to let you know, a local, when we went somewhere, they had selling a coconut. You know, I think the coconut might have been 50 cents. When we went, you go to the resort, they selling that same coconut for $5. The local people like, I'm not buying that. You know, the Americans like, oh, I'm buying it. So if the more they would try to keep us out, the more it's going to hurt them. When I was just in DR, now I was at the resort, I had on some swim trunks with the American flag on it, a shirt that said USA. But there's no way that I would go in and go against their politics, tell them what's wrong with their system, jump into all that, resist. Oh, let me go burn up somebody's car. Let me go burn up a police car. Let me wave the American flag wherever I go. Yeah, right. My problem is they do in this country what they would not do in their own country.
Amen.
That's what pisses me off. So they say how bad it is here, or what. You come here and then you just use our resources and then want to talk how bad things are. If you don't like it here, you are welcome to go back. And the fact that I have no sympathy. I'm sorry, I do not have any sympathy. I don't care if you was a mother that came here, and I've seen it. I've seen mothers that come here illegal and they have a child. Well, I wish there was no anchor baby. Let's just say it is. You have a child. Then 5 years down the road, you want sympathy because now they want to deport you. And you say, well, you're breaking up my family. No, you knew the law. You knew that this was one day a possibility. Because if I was a black dude and I sold some drugs or I stole something or I did something else, they don't care about my kid. They're going to arrest me in front of my kid and then just take them down to CSP or whatever it is. There's no sympathy for us. There's no sympathy for the black men that are in jail at no time.
My thing is,
why would I have sympathy for you for breaking the law, knowing that you broke the law? I don't have it.
If you could go ahead and drive that big ass pickup truck, you have the money to pay for an attorney, lawyer, and get your papers in order. I'm sorry. If you could do all this stuff, buy these cowboy boots and hats and talk lavishly about what you're doing, why haven't you not submitted your papers? Again, my mother came here speaking no goddamn English, a black woman, a black Haitian woman at that, where she had to struggle as a single mother with 6 kids to get the money that she needed to get a green card. Dude, I remember those days I had to go to the immigration office, guys. I remember sitting in the hot damn sun. I was 6, 7 years old. I remember that. Sitting there for 8 hours waiting for our turn to speak to, INS at the time. They called them INS at the time. What's the difference than the ones that come in here? They make excuses, man. So now you're getting caught, or you breaking our family. Your kids could go with you. I'm sorry. If your husband's getting deported, go with him.
Exactly.
But my thing is, don't make excuses for certain things that you could have taken care of, especially you've been here for 20 years. I'm hearing people that have been here for 10, 20 years. Like, what's the excuse?
Hey, I got to tell you, that part I don't understand. Like I said, I get paranoid the closer I get to having to renew my visa. I want to get on top of that right away. You know what I mean? And I've already asked about the SRRV, which will give me a special resident visa, so I don't have to do that on a consistent basis, and I can do that quickly. I don't have to wait any certain amount of time. So I'm probably going to start that process next month. So I don't understand, being myself an immigrant here in this country, how you can be in another country and walk around and not be in fear that, somebody's going to come pick you up eventually. You break a law, you get stopped by the cops. I mean, I'd be all gray at this point, worrying about tripping over a fucking crack and a damn cop stopping me and wanting to run my ID. I don't know how they get away with being here that long in the United States and not feeling obligated to become citizens.
Bro, because there is no penalty. Have you ever been to traffic court? I've been to traffic court. When the wife first came here, she got that heavy foot speeding on the highway. We wouldn't let her off. So I think she just had a green card. So she was all scared and everything. But when you went to court, now she had a green card, which meant she could legally be here. They were still reading something that said, if you commit a certain crime, we can deport you back. There were people who did not have a driver's license, did not speak English, were here illegally, and still were going to court and like, oh, I got a ticket. I couldn't go in any other country, be there illegally, get charged of the crime, and be like, oh, well, I'll be back. I'll just, that doesn't happen anywhere else. The Mexicans that come here, they act like they are privileged. But if you go to Mexico and you ask about the Guatemalans trying to get to Mexico, they don't want them there. They protect their border, they protect their southern border, but get mad at us for protecting our southern border. That's some BS.
And one thing, guys, I live this shit. I'm speaking from bona fide, my personal experience as an illegal immigrant who became an American citizen. And put that out there. I am American citizen, been American citizen for over 25 years. So before you guys try to call fucking ICE on me, I'm good. I'm good, all right? So, hey, but I'm speaking from experience where I lived that life as an illegal immigrant back in the 80s. I remember everything. I remember when they used to be bus to capture people and send them back home. A few people that I know personally got deported back. And guess what? The people that got deported back, these were your lawbreakers. These are people that I knew that were breaking the laws, that were constantly getting arrested. And then guess what? They had in Florida got a 3-strike rule thing. Dude, that's it. It's time for you to go. And they were crying. It's like, I don't want to go back. Like, nigga, excuse me, bro. Like, you didn't know, like, hey, our parents left Haiti for a reason. Now you live there. But the thing is, people don't understand. It's like, look, being in the United States is a privilege, is an opportunity. This is the only country where you could come here with nothing and make something out of yourself. I've been saying this for the longest. I'm speaking from experience. I watched my mother come here with no English to retire, owning a home that's worth almost $1 million now in Miami. So there's no excuse. This is the only country in the world. There's no other country you could come here with nothing and make something out of yourself. Sorry, no European country, definitely no goddamn South American countries, no African country. This is the only country you could come here and make something out of yourself, and that's why you have thousands of people willing to risk their lives to come here. But if you're gonna come here, play your part. Play your part. And my thing is this: for my fellow Caribbean, my fellow Africans that want to come in and look down towards the FBAs, my fellow foundational Black Americans, you're wrong for that. You guys are benefiting. You guys are benefiting what Black Americans has set up, and now you want to come and look down upon them. And guess what? You motherfuckers are getting deported too, because I'm seeing y'all getting deported in Miami. So now you want Black folks to come and rally with us? Hell no. Black people, sit y'all asses down and have a drink and watch the show. That's all I gotta say. Because guess what? This shit was overdue. Way overdue.
Let's holler at our first super chat of the day, Brandon Hayes, a big contributor to all our channels. We appreciate your support and thank you for the $10 super chat. I don't like how ICE is violating people's civil rights without due process, but let's admit that the previous administration let Spanish gangs into the country and put them in poor Black communities. What do you guys have to say about that part?
I gotta go to the first part. So I wonder how is ICE violating people's civil rights would be my question. You don't need a due process. You came illegally. You don't have papers.
Yeah, but this is America. You got rules and the regulations here. You can come here illegally, but you got to get processed out a certain way. You just can't be kicked out. There are procedures in place.
Put them right in jail, then kick them right out. I don't think we should spend you know how much money you spend to have. Here's the thing: we jail them, and then we tell them we tell them, oh, you can't come back for so many years, 5 years. You send them over the border and they come back the next day. And then we do the same thing all over again. They get better food in the prison system than they had when they was living out.
Hey, I would tell you some guys in the pen right now would say, hell no, we don't. No, we don't.
The immigration
ones,
they getting free foods a day. They look, I know some people that was there. They watching them, they watching the novellas or whatever the hell, because they got Spanish speaking TVs. They get food 3 times a day. They work.
I think somebody needs to pull up a video right now and show how the prisoners or people that are being restrained, that are illegal immigrants, are being treated in these places. I think a lot of this is a lot of pie in the sky. They used to say this about black people. We're being treated better. In the white community, they used to say we being treated better. And that's not true. So I want to see that documentation.
I was going to interview my man that was in DR who got deported. So I need to know what prison that they don't treat the immigrants well.
Because I don't know. We need that interview.
You don't go to a regular pen. It's basically federal. You're going to a federal private penitentiary.
The Fed is worse than a regular local prison. You know that?
No,
the Fed is worse.
No.
I'm not talking white collar criminals, bro. I'm talking criminals.
What
Fed is way worse than regular.
At the immigration Fed penitentiary. You talking about somewhere in Colorado when they underground? That's
you talking about Kansas is the worst.
But what you talking about? What's the pen?
Leavenworth. Yeah. Leavenworth, Fort Leavenworth. Yeah.
But what security level is Leavenworth?
I think it's all the way up to.
That's you talking about a maximum security penitentiary.
Yeah.
These illegals ain't going to a maximum security penitentiary. They going to like a
3 fights back. Well, how else are they going to get back? Come on, Drew. All right. What about you, Kanal, on the comment with Brandon? What part you gonna pick out, or you gonna pick out both?
Wait, hold on. Before you go, Kanal, have you ever seen a prison overseas?
No.
Yeah, they're terrible. Oh, yes, absolutely.
You don't get your food, you don't get your sale. If your family ain't bringing you something to eat, you might not eat.
Yeah.
Wow.
Me personally, I purposely follow the law while I'm overseas because I've seen locked up abroad many times, and there's no way in hell I'll put myself in that situation. Listen, I want to be a punk. Hey, listen, you want to rob me? Go ahead. Here's my wallet. If you want to say something slick, all right, cool. But guess what? I'm going back home. You stuck here. I'm not going to do anything stupid, man. I think here, the prison life here, jail life here is a whole lot better, and it's luxury life compared to overseas. I mean, United States is the only prison that gives people rights. How the fuck prisoners got rights?
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think ICE is violating people's civil rights?
No, they're not. I have to. Brandon, man, you my guy. I have to disagree with that. The thing is, they give you the option to self-deport yourself.
Yes.
And if you're not going to do that, then hey, they're going to come and knock on your door. You could come in nicely, or you could leave nicely, or you could just make a scene. But I think people are just making more of a scene. But again, for someone who experiences life as an immigrant, a Haitian immigrant at that, because Haitians, we get it hard. We're basically the niggas of overseas. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it doesn't matter where we go. We get deported in Jamaica. We get deported in Bahamas. We get deported the DR. We get deported everywhere we go. We get deported. So I've learned to understand, like, hey, follow the laws, work, and move under the radar. When you do things that's going to draw attention to yourself, there's consequences. But for the people who are getting arrested, man, they knew it was coming. They have you on the list. Like, you knew eventually they'll come look for you.
Okay. I don't think the civil rights are being violated by being picked up personally. That's what should have been happening a long time ago. I think they're very aware of a lot of the illegal aliens. I mean, they got the paperwork right there. I'm sure it's all computerized. They can tell when people's visas are up. But we've already had the lax attitude. Well, we'll catch them when we catch them on the back end. Basically, whether they go to court, whether they try to get a job or something, we'll figure out where they're at and get them. Now I think they're being a lot more aggressive when it comes to ICE and immigration, and especially with the president's edict right now on immigration laws to push it a lot harder. Now, are they being roughed up? I can guarantee you they probably are. Are they being made example of and being touted in front of the media to make it look bad or worse than it is? Probably are. But at the end of the day, I as an American and as a military guy, you got to do things right. I agree with Kamal. We have a process in place. If you follow it, it's simple enough to get whatever you need to get, unless you're doing something wrong. And obviously, you don't need to be here. I do believe in, protecting the American public first and foremost. So if you're a criminal trying to get into this country and you can't do it legally, you don't need to be here. If you're an immigrant that came over here because you're under duress, there's a process for that. If you're an immigrant and you came over here and you didn't have any problems and you just wanted to come over here legally, there's a process for that. Get in motherfucking line.
And again, I'm thinking about this. People may think I'm a hypocrite by saying what I'm saying, but you have to understand, when I came here in the 80s, the same way as most other immigrants come in through the boat, not through land, but through ocean, things were different, man. It's just like we didn't bring this amount of attention to ourselves, man. But somewhere along the lines, the arrogance of some of these people that come in and think that they're better than you, where they could do whatever they want, that rubbed a lot of Americans the wrong way, especially during the last 4 years, where people were literally bragging what they were getting from the government, while we have American soldiers, veterans, mentally ill, tons of homelessness happening, while these people are coming in getting luxury hotel rooms. Mm-hmm. They're literally taking the hotel food and throw it in the garbage. The same hotel food that we spend like $30-$40 when we check into a hotel, they taking that same meal and throwing it in the garbage because they feel like, this doesn't cater to my culture. Understand this, people, and this is to my fellow immigrants out there. When you come to the United States, you must assimilate. You must. This whole thing that you want to stay within your own people, your own community, and not learn how to speak English and not try to assimilate around other people is stupid. And that's why, like, dude, when my girl came here, I told her straight up, listen, you come here, this is America. This is how we do things here. I don't want to say, well, this, I have to learn, I'm Dominican. No, you have to learn how to think like an American. Mm-hmm. You got to think like an American. It's like this whole I'm Dominican. No, you got to think like an American. You got to move like American. If in order for you to get ahead in life, you got to do that because you could easily find yourself working at McDonald's, right, or at Walmart, and be happy with that. And go to a typical on a Saturday and just dance and drink, then go back to the same routine that you've been doing for the past 20 years.
And some of those jobs are paying really good now with the minimum wage being brought up. Real quick, shout out to Darnell. Darnell, we need to talk offline, bro. Where the hell you been? I was worried about you. I thought you fell off the face of the earth. Appreciate the $5 super chat. And he says, support Ronan. He needs 8 more teal super chats to reach his goal. Show appreciation to a Marine that fought for your freedom. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. We're going back to Brandon. Brandon with another $10 super chat. Fire is back, and I agree with him on this. In Maryland, a man was deported in El Salvador prison by mistake. Is an example of what I mean by Trump and ICE admitted they made a mistake, but I'll admit there are Spanish gangs here and should be deported. So
they make a mistake and arrest black people for the wrong crime every day. Okay. Walking white black, talking white black, shopping white black.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry that happened to you, but you know what? Let me play these 2 videos real quick, and this is just gonna be the first part.
I mean, can you be a little empathetic to the dude that got deported for no fucking reason besides for a mistake, though? And now they're still struggling to bring their brother back because they ain't brought him back yet. They ain't brought him back yet.
Well,
he has some MS-13 gang signs.
The president of El Salvador said that he's not coming back.
Wow. How you get to decide that shit?
He made that decision, like he's not coming back.
He's not even an El Salvadorian citizen. So how's he
Well,
get
they position him as a affiliate. So yeah.
Wow, that's insane,
Guys. I've been to El Salvador. It's a beautiful country, beautiful people.
I'm a nobody.
Very wholesome. Had a great time, great food. But man, they don't play. So for all you passport bros who want to do something stupid, going to El Salvador, I highly suggest you think twice, because again, it's a great place to go. I recommend you take a girl with you, unless you have a certain preference. I didn't see that much eye candy out there, but that's just my preference. But if you want to go out there and experience El Salvador for what it is, it's a beautiful country, great food, nice people, great experience, beautiful country, man. Like beautiful.
Isn't El Salvador on a high alert right now? You can't literally travel into the country. You have to kind of like jump into the country from.
No, you can travel there, bro. You can travel right now.
Yeah. I'm not talking Brazil. I'm talking about El Salvador, the country.
I'm talking about El Salvador, the country. I've been there.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
How long ago was this?
2022.
I think it's a little different.
It might be safer now than when he went, because that president.
Bro, listen. El Salvador is safe, man. Look, let me tell you this. And El Salvador is clean. I never seen a country that goddamn clean. I'm like, damn, this place is clean.
Hold on, I gotta jump over Darnell's just to get to Brandon. He said, "Damn, Fearless, you were harsh, brother. You worse than Master Crease from
it's
Cobra
not I'm hard. Here go the problem. I've been to a lot of countries. In all the countries I've been to, I wouldn't get the same break that these people get in our country. I tell you, you go overstay in DR, you're gonna pay a fine to get out. You get a ticket, you ain't gonna leave. You know, there's countries you get a ticket and you try to leave, you got to pay that fine before you get out.
You know what?
You can't leave without paying your.
Fuck all that, man. Look how the Dominicans treat the Haitians, the illegals. Haitians there, they don't fuck around. And I've seen trucks and bus loads of them capturing Haitians and putting them in the behind the truck and sending them back. I've seen that personally. So, guys, every country has their own immigration laws and procedures, and some countries are more aggressive than others. United States is the first time taking action, like publicly, because Obama actually deported more people than any other president.
Let me read this from Darnell so I can go off. Ronan. The problem is some of these, see, he forgot a key word. What was that key word that he forgot? Right before immigrants. Some of these.
Illegal.
There you go. There you go.
Illegal
immigrants did the right thing.
With
you
regular immigrants.
An illegal immigrant and did the right thing. You didn't. You already messed up there. They went through the process and are being punished. No, all that happened was they came into the country. They got caught. It was illegal. So they said, you got a court date. We're going to put this monitor on you. We're going to, go through this process. But at any time, we can deport you back. You was already breaking the law. It don't matter. You was a bad one from the beginning. Maybe you didn't do a crime.
Should have never got in the country.
Maybe you didn't do a second crime, but you did a first crime to get in here. I just don't see it. I just want to see that I'm gonna play this real quick because we're not the only people that are saying
for the $5 super chat, Darnell. Yep. There is a key word that was left out of there.
Exactly.
Illegal. I mean, got a problem with legal immigrants or problems of seeking asylum. As a military guy, you know that, but just showing up and not going through the process. Like I said, I'm in the Philippines. I'm already looking at the process of being a permanent resident. I don't want to keep on having to go back and check my visa every 60 days for 3.5 years, or however long I stay here. I mean, you got to get in the system and figure it out and do it legally.
And Kevin said illegal or undocumented. That's just a Democratic word to help you out. Like they don't want you to use illegal alien. But we're not the only people. Let's hear how the Asians feel. Let's hear our Asian fellas.
I'm a nobody, but it's like I've been seeing so many people asking Asian creators to speak up about the whole riots in LA and all these deportation things. And this is something that a lot of people don't understand. Asian people, we support the country. We support the betterment of the country. We support that. So what is there to say? What is there to say? We support the deportations of illegals. It is honestly tiring, because here's the thing: we want the country to be better. We want the country to be better. We want the country to, if you did it legally, if you stand in line, if you paid the price, right? You paid the money and all that. You did all the process, the paperwork, all the stuff, which usually most Asian people do. Why would we care about someone jumping in line, crossing the border, and all this stuff? Why should we, be happy about that? We're not really. This is the thing where we're not really dependent. Asian people aren't really dependent on, migrant labor, right? Not like other people. We're not really dependent on migrant labor. So we're not going to cry that the U.S. is pretty much backing what they promised. The U.S. promised, or this presidency promised, that they would deport illegal immigrants. They're doing it.
People are pissed at this guy. If you go into their comments, and of course I'm always going to support content creators by giving them credit. If you go into their comments, you'll see that they're basically calling him, or they're calling the Asian community, which Asian community is not a monolith. There's different types.
I won't go on, but the Asians like, look, man, we don't need the Mexicans to do nothing. We bring our own slave labor over here. We don't need them. We got it. We did it the right way. We did, and here's what you don't see. In that video, Anton went on to say that there was a nail place that was invaded by ICE, and they got arrested. The people who were doing the nails were working illegally. You didn't see no riot. You didn't see the Asians coming out saying, oh man, how you going to let them go home? They knew that you took a chance by coming here. That's what happens. And so what they try to do is say, we want to represent the best of us, where these other Latino countries are trying to represent the worst of them. I don't understand that. What's your comment on the Asians?
Well, in regards to the Asian, I agree. They come here with a purpose. They come here with a game plan. They have a very community mindset. But he said that most of them come here legally. That's a lie. A good percentage do come here illegally. So they have a process in place where they could just come under the radar. But I agree. I think the Asian community, which consists of Asians and Indians, all like Southeast of Asia, they keep a low profile, man. They keep to themselves, and that's why I don't understand.
That's the word, low profile.
They keep a low profile. They focus on their education, math and science, and they just kind of do their own thing, man. And it's just like, and that's why I don't understand when they constantly asking for the black community to come in and help. Like, why are you not asking the other communities? Because the other communities don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, I would have to say not only Asian community, a lot of the European communities, communities, they all stick to themselves. They either are all sponsored by other family members. They come in with money, ready to get down and get busy. You know what I'm saying? They're being sponsored from their families overseas to get here. They might even have extra pocket money to establish themselves a little bit better. They're not coming over here in desperation for American to save them necessarily.
And same for my fellow Caribbean community, my fellow Caribbeans and my African communities. Dude, they come here with a purpose. Nigerians are considered one of the highest paid groups out there, based on the profession that they pick, based on their education that they pursue. So they come here with a purpose. They don't come here to try to get these jobs that they keep on thinking that, hey, we're coming to take your job. No, you're not. You're taking the jobs that most people don't want. So it's just like, when you call people, certain demographic lazy because they don't want to do the job that they literally underpaying you, it's crazy because they're taking advantage of you. And trust me, my mother was taken advantage of when she used to pick up strawberries, getting paid $1 an hour. Who the fuck gets paid $1 an hour during the 80s?
That's crazy.
That's not a fucking flex, man. That's why it kills me when I see these TikTok videos. Oh, who's gonna build your house now? Who's gonna pick up your fruits? someone else is going to pick it up, because guess what? You can't do it because you got caught, but someone else is going to do it. But don't try to come in and make it seem like the world's going to stop because you're gone. The world continues, man. If anything, it's just level set.
But here's what they have, man. And people don't understand. There's illegal immigrants, but there are what they call migrant visas.
Yeah,
you can get a visa to come here and work. I know that farmers hire people for the season, so you can come here legally and work.
I think Texas and California are very famous for that. I used to work with a lot of migrant farmers, even with insurance. They would come across the border from TJ, come to work the fields, and they take their asses right back across the border when they're done, when the season's over. They ain't got no problem with doing it. So you're absolutely right.
This is another thing. This is the problem. And I know I'm gonna let Anton cook. I'm gonna let him cook for a second. But this is the reason why we're hated, or they're hated.
Hold your hand when I say this. We do not move to America because we think it's a better country. We move here because it's a little less worse than our other countries. Because you're stupid to think that we moved to this country for some hot dogs and some baseball. We have better vibes, music, food, culture, history, literally all of the above. We just move here because we are looking to make more money and offer a better chance for our families. Did you know that the minimum wage a day?
So they don't really care about us, just to let you know. They come in here and they don't care about us.
If things are so grand, why are you here?
Just the opportunity
to make the money. The American dollar is going to carry a lot.
Guess what? Once they make their money, they still stay here.
Yeah. I'm gonna let her cook for us. Let her go.
At an hour a day in Mexico is not even $15 American. Not even $15 American. Right now with $15 in San Diego, I could go maybe buy a matcha and half of a granola bar, honey. If you support ICE, you support people getting destroyed. If you support families getting destroyed, I hope you rot in hell. And I will see you there, babes.
She's evil.
Yeah.
I hope y'all realizing, because when they're communicating this and when they jump on their phone and they start to have these conversations with y'all, they don't realize that they're actually telling on themselves and they're giving us reason to not support them. And more importantly, I want people to feel ashamed. I want people, black people that's out there protesting on behalf of women like this, white people that are out there protesting on behalf of women like this, other legal migrants that came over and love this country. They don't care about what we got going on over here. They don't care about our culture. They don't care about what our standards are. They are going to do what they want to do. And one of the reasons is because they truly, even though they come from a third world country, as far as I'm concerned, even though they come from a less than ideal environment, even though they come from a space that is actually horrible when it comes to the cartel and the culture and all of this stuff, they feel like they better than you. Yep. They feel like they better than us. Yep. They feel like they're better than America. They just look at us as an economic opportunity. They're not looking to contribute. They're not looking to figure out how it is that they can learn the language. They're not looking to adjust. She just, out of her own mouth, told you, listen, we don't really fuck with y'all like that. The only thing that we here for is money.
That's why I got a problem. That's why I got a problem. They come here to take our resources. When we go places, we give our resources. We give our resources going to places. They come and take it. They work and then send money back. Don't care about the laws. Don't care about what they violate. That's my issue. How can you be someplace illegal and still do crimes? Still feel like you have the privilege that others don't?
My thing is the fact that you think you're better. Like the arrogance of you thinking that you're better than the Americans that are here, that actually built this country, because you're doing some construction work and you picking up some fruits and vegetables. You think you're better, that you built this country. Like that shit's comical to me, because it's like you literally shitting on all the fathers and mothers who came here and helped and really contributed or were forced to do certain things in this country. And this whole thing about Mexico, about Texas being stolen, California being stolen, that's all bullshit. Mexico sold it because they were broke and they needed the money.
Yeah, I don't believe that either. So let me read this real quick. Darnell, another $5 super chat said, I believe in the Ronald Reagan approach, amnesty. If you are not a criminal, I want to know who you are. The criminals will never declare themselves. Absolutely, the criminals never going to declare themselves. Even when Cuba had that mass exodus, what did Cuba do? They sent over the majority of their criminals. We had to wade through that whole situation to figure out who was legitimately needing amnesty or asylum and who were the criminals. Go ahead, gentlemen.
I'm gonna play one quick video again. This is the counterpart what you were saying.
Inside the secured area of the
about the
ICE
prisons.
immigration detention facility in Elizabeth, New Jersey, immediately cleared up any confusion we may have had about what this place is and what it is not.
The facility detains immigration violators.
ICE has previously allowed human rights advocates to tour this facility, but until now, a television news crew has never before been allowed to tour.
Let's
and
see how
video
bad it
record
is.
This holding center for undocumented detainees.
TVs.
Going to work when
I mean, every place has
the
those.
ICE police stop the taxi.
Not in the other countries, you
Get out
don't.
in front of the taxi.
In our
No,
previous
I'm American.
immigration reporting, we've heard stories like the one Anna Velasquez told us.
They were looking for me because unfortunately I couldn't get them.
Our goal with this report, to shine a light on the ICE detention and deportation process after the arrest. We found Anna in the crowded law library.
Yeah.
In the what? Where was he at?
Law library.
Oh, damn. He get to know his rights. He get to find out his rights while he in the U.S.
ICE Assistant Field Office Director Joe Simeo showed us around this converted industrial warehouse. We visited an outdoor rec area,
Handball
which was
rec?
really just a concrete court, fitted with a handful of large open-air ceiling grates and several men passing the time. Jamaican immigrant detainee Densley Lawrence has been here for 11 months.
What is a typical day here like?
Oh, volleyball gym, we go to the library.
What? Wait, hold on. Volleyball gym, go to the library, eat, sleep. What's okay?
And then back, eat, sleep, and do the same thing tomorrow again.
Simeo also showed us the medical facility.
Medical? Hold up. You got to
Come
be
on, man.
lying.
You gotta know in America, they're all standard jails that do that. Whether it be
What
our
I'm saying is, you're saying it was like
you're
a
not
whole.
getting that.
They get
You're not
medical
getting that in another country. Yeah, but in America, we have a standard of living. We treat our people better, even if they're illegal. They still have rights in our eyes. In other countries, they don't. You're absolutely right about that.
What
but
I'm
just
saying is,
because other
you
countries
can
don't
get
do it, don't mean we have to do it as Americans.
No, but there's people. Hold up. Me, I got to pay for my medical place. I can go broke paying for it.
For 275 men and some 30 women, in addition to both short and longer term dorms, all furnished with simple cots, open bathroom areas, metal tables, televisions, and not much else. Throw in the fact this place is run by CoreCivic, the largest for-profit prison corporation in America, and you could be forgiven for confusing this detention facility with a prison. But Simeo insists that is not the case.
This is not a hotel. This is a detention facility. It's important to say that we are not a prison.
Simeo referred to ICE's published detention standards and a convenient detainee locator tool, both found on the agency's website.
There are allegations.
Notice he said our standards. Well, I was saying we have a standard of the way we treat people because we believe everybody has the right to due process and they have the right to be treated like human beings, regardless of how they got here. Unfortunately, other countries don't see it that way for us, but we still hold ourselves to a standard as American citizens that people are human beings and they deserve to be treated a certain way regardless. And I know it's not fair. I know it's not fair.
Are probably treated better in that prison than they were on the outside.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not doubting that. Probably so, depending on how they got here and whether they were living, decently. You're right.
So no matter what, we still paying for them. And I'm saying these people come, complain about the United States, say how bad it is, but yet how humane we treat people. No matter if you've broken the law, we still treat you with respect. We still give you the opportunity to have legal representation.
Yeah.
So, I just seen it different when you said that, worse. I don't see our jail facilities as that. We still spend the money on people that's here. So anyway around, you've gotten the luxury and the best of US. How can you come here and still do bad? I mean, if I went somewhere that had an opportunity.
That's like asking a passport, bro, why do you go overseas and still hang out in the fucking hood? Because they programmed to do that shit. That's all they know. You can't go back and say, oh, why are we hanging out in the hood when we go overseas? Because niggas got hood mentalities. But then you got a foreigner coming over here. What mentality he got? Survive or die. So that's what we need to try to weed out. The survive or die guys and the ones that are coming over with purpose. With principles. And it's a tough job.
You have a super chat from Darnell.
Oh. And then we're gonna play some of your videos. We're gonna play some of your videos.
Yeah. Texas and California was never stolen. They actually sold it to the United States for $11 million. That's a fact. Use ChatGPT. So,
I mean, I know we had the Alamo battle and all these other things that are going on in Texas. I think ultimately, even after those situations happened, I think we did wind up buying it, just like Louisiana from France.
Yeah, we ended up buying it.
American War, hit the French and Indian War, and all those things. But we wound up buying Louisiana as well after those.
We ended up buying Texas, Arizona region, all the way to California. We ended up buying all that stuff for $11 million. So I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, but let's play those videos, man. We have a lot of videos we want to critique on and comment on.
I'm gonna play this chick first.
I just want to say, watching these raids happen in LA right now, people voted for this. People voted for this, and I think right now the Black and the brown community, we need to come together, and we need to remember that they are the ones who made it us versus them. They put us against each other, because if we're busy fighting each other, we don't put our eyes on them. We need to wake up. Everybody needs to wake up.
Girl, you need to wake up. Not the Hispanics calling on the Black people for help. Really? Where were y'all during George Floyd? Where were y'all during Sandra Bland? Where were y'all during all of the white cops killing Black people? Where were y'all? But y'all want us to come together. Really? Really? Why y'all calling on us? Why y'all calling on the Black people? Why y'all not calling on Asians? They're a minority too. Why y'all calling for us? If you go on my page, you will see I made a post about how there was a Trump rally for Trump back in 2020, before he even got elected 4 years ago. And there was a crowd full of Hispanics, and the song was saying, I will vote for Donald Trump. Y'all want it. Y'all got it. Y'all got him into office, and now y'all want to double back and ask for help, calling all the African Americans to help. Like, come on now. We gonna stay out of this. We gonna stay as far away from this. Y'all can continue to riot and make yourselves look bad, but we gonna stay out of this.
What you think about that, Fearless? You think they're trying to leverage us to unite?
All of those people always try to leverage us when they have a problem, but they never help us out when we have a problem. They say that's your problem. That's your problem. That don't affect us. And when it starts to affect them, then it's our problem. It's only our problem when y'all in for it. It's never your problem when it affects us. When there's police brutality, when there's certain things rights that we don't get, They never stand up and fight. It's like, oh, they part of their community. Now they want us to help when it's them.
I mean, it's a good point. Right around when Donald Trump was running for office, a lot of Latin people for MAGA, a lot of people were saying, hey, we're uniting around Trump. Trump's has benefited us and this, that, and the other thing. Now, when ICE and all these other things and immigration laws, I'm sorry, brown-skinned people are brown-skinned people, whether you dark or light, you being considered as coming from a dirt poor country in Donald Trump's eyes, you on the hit list. You ain't getting around that just because you voted for him. That's the whole thing. A lot of y'all fall in line with MAGA, but at the end of the day, there's a color line in that. Oh, thanks for helping us get there, but guess what? If you ain't light bright white, you part of the minority, you're going to get taken care of too. And they had Uncle Toms all the time in the past. Uncle Toms thought they were helping out the side that was going to win. Guess what? At the end of the day, you were still a ninja. Bruh. They still got you. They will still string your ass up.
You ever been to California? You lived in California, didn't you?
I lived in California 30-some years.
Let me tell you, when I was out there, I ain't never seen so many Latino people call black people the N-word. I was like, what, y'all allowed to say that out here? I don't know what. Y'all got a different rule out in California, man. It's like that's just part of what y'all allowed to say. I ain't never seen no Mexicans come over and they can just say the N-word free and will, like that's just part of their language. I don't know how y'all let that happen.
It's a LA gang culture life because everybody was within either a Crip or a Blood, whether you're a black, Mexican, or whatever. You can unite in a criminal world, but you can't unite in the real world. I don't get that. You know, let me read this real quick from Darnell. I really appreciate you supporting the channel and appreciate you coming back. $5 super chat at Black Man Travels. I think you were referencing the Gadsden purchase. You don't know what I'm talking about because you don't know American history. Bro, what?
Texas,
are you throwing jobs?
What I know American history.
You know
Texas,
what?
next from the United States, and then they took over Mexico. They beat Mexico.
I may not know American history, but motherfucker, I know ChatGPT, and ChatGPT tells me, motherfucker, that United States paid $15 million for that shit. So shut the fuck up. So hey, I don't know goddamn history, but I know ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is smarter than you. So hey, it is what it is. This Haitian knows ChatGPT.
Not that I agree with Darnell. That's some of, because there's more states. You're talking about Arizona, New Mexico. Texas is different. You know, Texas is where they just fought them. They just like, look, we gonna. This is what happened with Texas. Not to give y'all a quick history, real quick. This is, you know, and they say remember the Alamo and all that. Texas came down and they had slaves. The people. Texas was Mexico. The people from the United States came to Texas and said, you know, we're gonna bring our slaves. Mexicans said, nah, brother, you can't do that. You can't have slaves here. We don't have slaves in Mexico. And Texas said, well, we got slaves and we gonna keep them. And that, remember the Alamo and all that was fighting over. Texans tried to take over Mexico because they wanted to have their slaves. Eventually, you know, people who want slaves always gonna win out. So they went to war on them.
And the whole thing is Juneteenth is all about Galveston being the last bastion of slavery, even after the Civil War was over. So if you know your history, you know Galveston was the whole reason behind Juneteenth, June 19th. Because they were still holding out because they wanted their slaves.
Now, based on ChatGPT, there was a war. Mexico got their ass beat. And guess what? After they got their ass beat, America felt sorry for their ass and said, you know what, here's $15 million, shut the fuck up, get the fuck out. And that's what happened.
Same thing with the Philippines, Spanish-American War. Spanish-American War, if y'all don't know, right after the Civil War, a lot of the same soldiers that fought in the Civil War went right overseas to fight in the Philippines, Buffalo soldiers included, and they wound up winning over the Spanish, and we wound up buying the Philippines from the Spanish after we beat their ass. We didn't just take their property. We had to pay them for that property. It still was theirs. So we paid them for the Philippines, and ultimately by 1940 something, we gave Philippines back to themselves.
Correction. It was Spain that we fought against, not Mexico. So Mexico was not even existed yet.
Mexico existed. We just, Spain came in and took over some places. I think.
Oh, okay. Hey, ChatGPT, it's all good.
Sometimes you do have to teach ChatGPT.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
I had to teach you some things about some history too.
Hey, you know what? Listen, guys, this is all fun and games, man. But at the end of the day, it's like we can't ignore the mistreatment and the racism that blacks has experienced from other people of color. That they felt like, hey, you know what? They could just come in and just do whatever they want, and they thought that it's just better than you. Including
I will say that there was a time when the Mexicans didn't think like that. The black people used to escape to Mexico because that was the free state.
Right.
But then all of a sudden, they started to get with the colorism. Dark skin, light skin, and now they come to the States.
If you really know about Louisiana and that whole deal, Louisiana was really the first melting pot. Racism was pushed into Louisiana after it was brought from the French. Okay. That's why you have a whole Creole nation down there of a certain mix of black, white, indigenous people, and Hispanics. It was the first melting pot before America was America and claimed to be that. But when racism came into the South, they were like, we don't like that integration. Y'all too damn comfortable with white people being mixed with black and all this other shit. They brought in that racism. So I can see Texas being the same way.
Well, Texas is cruel.
Yeah.
Texas
ruthless at that point.
Yeah,
right.
They actually, I didn't know until I went down to San Antonio. I was like, remember the Alamo? Yeah, we lost the Alamo. Just let you know when the United States got beaten on the Alamo. But the question that we have here, who really belongs in America? Who really does belong in America? Do these illegal people who come over belong in America? Do, if you came over on a work visa, how long should you be in America? Say you were born here, you came over when you were 6 months old, like you are. Should you get deported? Do you belong in America? If all you know is America and you were brought over here illegally by your family, do you belong in America? So how do you feel about that? Kanal, you brought over here 6 months old, all of a sudden, you 17, and they gonna put you back in Haiti.
Oh man, I'll be crying my ass off, man. Shit, I don't want to go. I mean, honestly, if everything I know is America, I was raised here, and to be sent back abruptly, man, dude, that'll be a whole miserable experience, man. I mean, it's sad that what a lot of these immigrants are going through. Man, it's again, I've been there. I've known a few people who've been deported, but also too is like, man, if you've been here for 10 years, 20 years, man, like, what is your excuse? I'm sorry. What is your excuse?
Well, if you're 10 years, if you started off when you was 1 year old, now you're just 11. You're not even 18 yet. So your excuse is nobody's done it for you. So what happens in that position?
I mean, it's the parent. The parent has to do it. But the thing is, and I lived in an immigrant community in Miami. I lived in a Hispanic community, and they just get comfortable. They forget that you're here illegally. So, and when you live in these communities, man, they don't leave their community because everything they want is within that community. So for them to actually, like, hey, you gotta learn how to speak English. You know how many people in Miami do not know how to speak English, and they choose not to learn how to speak English
because they got a grocery store that's Latino. Yeah. They got the hairdresser that's Latino. Yeah. They never had to understand.
Yeah, there was no pressure there. So
Truth Mouse asked you a question. You said, "Oh man, it's sad." He said, "Why is it sad?"
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, again, I can empathize with they're going through because I lived it. I literally lived that same life, that fear of us getting caught. My mother, with 6 kids, this is the fucking 80s, man. I lived in Liberty City, crack. This is during the crack time, man. Shit was crazy. But that fear of going back to Haiti, man, my mom always was afraid of that. So My mother always kept her head down, man. She told us straight up, do not get in trouble. Do not bring attention to yourself. You got 2 strikes against you. You're an immigrant and you black. And it's just like, that was ingrained in our heads. You had to excel. We had to excel and not fuck up. So
how long was that process from the time you got here to get citizen? I don't know if it went citizenship first or like some type of legal residence.
Okay. The way it works is when you come in, you get illegally, you get like a temporary residency. And this is the 80s now. Things are more different now, but during the 80s, you get a temporary residence where you could get a work permit. So my mom had a work permit. After she had a work permit, she was able to save some money. Then she would apply for a green card. Once you get the green card, you're good. You get for 10 years. But within those 10 years, you have the opportunity to become an American citizen. So once those 10 years was up, my mom was like, hey, it's time to become an American citizen. And we went for it, just like that. Now, granted, the cost for these items were a lot cheaper back then. Now it's super expensive, man. Felix, you and I, we talked about this, but yeah, it's different now. But my mom didn't waste any time. She knew, like, hey, we need to switch up. Like, we need to change this green card to American citizenship. And now all of us, all my brothers and sisters are American citizens, including my mother.
Now, how do you
like you said, your mom took it serious, and she knew there was some time restraints, and the minute those time limits came up, she jumped right on it.
Yeah. So when she knew like those 10 years was up, and I remember when my tenure was up, it was like, okay, it's time. So I applied for my American citizenship, took the test, did the interview, and next thing you know, I went to Miami Beach. I sworn as an American citizen.
And how do you feel about, I know you guys kind of kept your head underwater, but other legal immigrants take advantage of a lot of the resources. How you feel about that?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we were on food stamp. I mean, shit, we were poor. We lived in the projects. So there's nothing wrong with that. But my thing is, when you start taking it for granted and bragging about it, and you feel like, hey, you're gonna live off of this. Like, my mother took pride knowing that, hey, I don't want to be in the projects. I don't want to be in a certain environment. Like, she took pride in that. So she made sure she put herself in a position where she could buy a house. And that same house that we still live in today is close to $1 million now in value in Miami. So I think sometimes, and again, this is not all immigrants. Some immigrants are very more progressive thinking. They come here with a purpose. And again, more power to them. It's the ones that come here that feel like, hey, I could just, skip the line and just do what I want, then while talking shit in the process. And I think a lot of Haitians are learning the hard way. A lot of the new Haitians coming in, they feel like, hey, they don't need to assimilate. And we're telling them, you need to learn how to speak English. No, I don't need to. Okay, you're gonna stand out. Because one thing is, my mom made sure, like us growing up in the 80s, like, you have to learn English. And now, dude, it's got to the point where I don't have an accent at all. Like, you talk to my sister, you would never think that, hey, you guys from Haiti. But if I need to speak Creole, I'll speak Creole in a heartbeat. I could switch up real fast.
All right, let me get these super chats out. And Darnell, you kind of beating a dead horse. We're trying to move on with the subject, but we appreciate the $5 super chats and the continued interaction with the live. We purchased a modern day Yuma Tucson and a small silver of of New Mexico for $10 million. The rest was taken after the Mexican-American War. Okay.
We moved on.
And then we're gonna move on. Mexican became independent from 1821. The Mexican-American War was fought in 1846. At BMT, if you are going to call me a liar, get the facts straight. Okay, we're not going to start throwing names around. Appreciate the $5 super chat.
And correction, I'm not BMT. I'm not BMT. I'm Black Man Travels. And dude, don't take what I say seriously, man. I'm fucking around with you, bro.
It's just a lie.
And also too, if you love Mexico that much, take your ass to Mexico, man.
We got to get him out of the country. Wait. We got to get him out of the country, period. He was supposed to be in Brazil.
Darnell is in Arizona. Dude, what's your excuse? You could literally just drive to Mexico. What's your issue, man?
All right, so let me get to Just John. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Welcome back to the lives. I know we've been gone for a while, but I appreciate you guys following back up and coming back in. Just John says Trump won all the border countries' votes. Let's be honest, there were way too many of them. We don't know who's MS-13, Trey Day, Rega, or Barbecue Boys, whoever the hell they are. I want to say this real quick. Do you not think that sometimes some of the information is given out may be legitimate, but are built to be scare tactics, get you guys all on board to want to vote one way or another? You think there are major concerns throughout the whole United States on these three gangs and what's going on, aside for everything else that's going on, corporate espionage and everything else? You think they're kind of blowing these things up as a misdirection or to get people united about certain topics when they're doing so many other things and not saying a thing about them after the fact?
Of course. But we look at the things that immediately affect us or immediately attention. If you live in New York and you've been homeless all your life and you see somebody come in and now all of a sudden they stand in a hotel getting 3 meals a day, that's something you can see.
That's going to irritate the hell out of you. Oh, yeah.
That's something you see. You live here and all of a sudden you have a house and some immigrant who's not even supposed to be here is squatting in your house. Oh, that's something that affects you immediately. Yes, those other things affect you, but it's not in your face. And so when it's not in your face, where was it, Colorado, where they took over the Venezuelan gang, took over the apartment complex. I mean, you live there and you're like, I escaped Venezuela to get away from this. And now they're telling me that I can do this. And then your local police, you're American, and your local police is saying maybe there's nothing we can do. That's crazy. You know, that somebody else can come over and take over an apartment building and make threats to you. And here's the difference. You're trying to live law abiding as an American citizen. They already criminals. So they don't get it. Like, man, I do some shooting and I just go back to my country. Nobody knows who I am. So yes, it may be kind of scary, but those are the things that are immediately in people's faces.
Here's the next video. Let's play this real quick.
You're running us over, you're shooting us, all because of the color of our skin. All because we have culture, we brought it here, and we are who we are, and we love it here, and we help people here. That's what we're known for. We help people, and yet we're getting terrorized. We're going through this. Our families are our babies are literally being ripped from our hands. If someone could please tell me if there's something we can do to help our people, please just imagine yourself in our situation. Imagine your people are being terrorized. They're being ran over. If you literally
You've been there, done that. What's this chick crying about right now?
I don't know what to tell you. You're an evil ass human being, and you need help, and you need God. You have no heart, and hell, there's a special place in hell for you. Karma is real, and God will take care of them. This is so heartbreaking. I don't know what we could do to help. I feel so helpless. I just want to help with something. I just want this to end. I just want there to be peace like there was peace. I just want that. That's all I want for us.
So I'm getting tired of seeing videos of my raza, my Latin community, my Hispanic community, calling out black people, our black brothers, for not doing what we think that they're supposed to be doing. This revolution is for us. This revolution is ours. It is our turn and our time to stand up for what is right. Leave those people alone. If their people want to call them out and ask them to stand in solidarity with us, then let that be so. But I need all my Hispanic and Latinos to leave them alone. If you are not black, do not call them out. They are not deserving of that. We need to focus on our own, please.
Boy. So we got to talk about this trend that is going viral on TikTok. I'm not sure if this is a real life thing, but it certainly is an internet thing in which you have Latinos, particularly leftist Latinos, right? Left-wing Latinos. They're begging black people to stand in solidarity, okay, aka Marxism, with them when it comes to being against these mass deportations, right? They want black folks out there on the front line with the other Latinos that support illegal immigration, protesting, putting their bodies on the line against the Trump administration, right? This is what they want. And these people are very upset that black folks, some black people, are coming out and saying, nah, we're good, right? We're not going to stand with you guys when it comes to this issue. We're good, okay? We're okay when it comes to this. We're not going to fight your cause, okay? And again, you have some Latinos that are very upset about this. They're boo-hoo-whining, crying over the fact that some black people are saying, no, we're not standing with you. Take a look.
And since y'all want to make this a race issue,
my thing is, and again, I'm speaking as an immigrant. You know, I've only been here for 47 years. Have people forgotten that slavery was here for over 500 years?
We was begging to get deported.
like they using words like racially profiling and, you know, they're being executed and everything else. I'm like, what? Like, you did not see what happened to the black folks that were here before you?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, and again, guys, I'm an immigrant. I'm
offended.
I'm an immigrant.
I'm actually offended by some of that.
No, I'm offended. Wait, hold up, guys. I'm offended. As a Haitian immigrant, I'm offended. I'm like, dude, you don't read books. You don't see the history that happened 400 years ago. And it's like, for you to say that, it's just like, you treat it as like this is something new. I don't know, Fearless, Roland, you guys are FBAs. Y'all can talk on this.
You know what pissed me off is that girl's like, this, what can we do? What can we do? Well, let them move in your house. If you want them to move in, let them move in. Get a room for them, hide them out. See, nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to, they want to push it on everybody else, the blacks and all of that. Well, let them move in, give some money, get a fund going. Go there and start dropping stuff off. Get a legal fee. Right. They don't want to do that. They want to put on somebody else.
Help us. But we don't want to help you. They've stayed silent for years. Again, we've been here the longest. What do you mean? Y'all came across the border when you wanted to. We got drug here. We don't have no history. Y'all can send money back to your country. Y'all can send money back to your families that are established in those countries. We ain't got no borders. We can't run back nowhere. We can run to the ocean, and that's our limit as an FBA. You ain't got nowhere else to go to. You can't call nowhere else home. This is the only home we got.
To my FBAs, where goddamn HB Global gone global? Where his ass? He'd be a perfect person to come on live if I could talk shit to him. But anyways, man, to my fellow FBAs out there, man, listen, I acknowledge the sacrifice and hard work that your ancestors did to allow my family to come here and take advantage of the opportunities that we had presented. So thank you. But my question to y'all, Fearless and Roland, to everybody else that's currently listening to my FBAs, when they say that you guys are next, how do you feel about that?
Never in your life. That's crazy.
You guys are next. You guys gonna get deported. What's y'all take on that?
Scare tactic. We've done too much. Here's the thing. Where are we gonna get deported to?
Exactly. We ain't got no home. I just told you. Our border ends right at the fucking ocean. We ain't got no country to be deported to. What the fuck are you talking about? We've been here. We've been here so long they can't even ship us back to wherever we were supposed to be because they done fucking lost all the records. We were property.
Exactly. So there's nowhere to deport us. We don't have a language. We don't have a home. So that just becomes this BS that they talk. And it's kind of sad, that it's sad that they mix us in with their problems, where their problems are not our problems. They're not the same problem.
Real quick, I didn't know what BBQ was. He's saying BBQ is a gang that has overthrown the Haitian government. So you would probably know about that more than I would.
He's somewhat, but it's really the elitists that overthrown the Haitian government. The elitists of Haiti did that. I have a question for
Thank you for the $2 super chat.
I'm curious to know because you're married to a Dominican, a foreigner.
So are you?
Yeah, but this is my question for FBA. I'm not FBA. So it's like the hell. So hey, hey. So how does your wife feel about all this?
She still stays the same. That
okay,
because the fact that when you go through the process and the program and you pay and you have to do that, you see that all the things you had to do, because it took her, I forgot how long she was here before she got citizenship. But when we used to travel, because her process went on when COVID was going on, it was like a delay. So we still used to travel, and every time I would go through a line and I'm through, and she have to, because her visa expired, the physical one, and they would always send out this piece of paper that said, hey, it's extended because the offices weren't open. And she would always have to show this piece of paper, and it would always be a delay. And she was like, I just can't wait till I get my citizenship. So she feels that I had to go through this entire process. How can I feel sorry for somebody who doesn't? And I have no, for instance, she had a friend that came here on a tourist visa and overstayed the visa. It was like, I'm gonna live here. And I said, I have no sympathy for your friend, because what happened was the mother got sick. I think, the grandfather got sick and was dying. I said, yeah, that's what happens. You can't go home. You can't leave. You in America, you can't go home to the funeral. You can't go home to say goodbye. That was a choice you made when you wanted to stay here. And she had the tourist visa, meaning she could have just went back and came back in. But they chose not to. And she's like, yeah, I don't feel sorry for them. How can I feel sorry? You made that choice. You knew that when you wanted to overstay, all see, they don't want to deal with the consequences.
Exactly.
They just want the good part. I said, these are the consequences that happen. I don't feel sorry for you. So the same way she feels is that way. And even when I see some of her friends that were here that's in New York, and they'll be on like Section 8. And I'm like, man, they've been on. She had a
cousin. Hey, I got stories too, man. I'm like,
yeah, that's on Section 8 so long and would not get a better job, because if she got a better job, it would raise the rent from it. So it was just like, I'm gonna work these little part-time jobs. That's it, man. Just think of this mentality that the people have, that I want to stay under the poverty line so I can pay this little bit of rent instead of making better in myself.
And that's I mean, my wife and I we're having these conversations as well, and she kind of agrees what's going on. It's like, hey, she sees how much how much we're paying the amount of money we're spending to actually change her status and everything else. And she understands the importance of like finding a good education, getting a good education, putting yourself in a good position where you don't have to work hard. She has friends that have been here for 10 years still working at McDonald's.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck.
And we just have a different mentality. I'm gonna tell you something real quick. Now, when I told y'all before, I took the family to the resort, right? I said, man, we're going to the resort. Everybody meeting at like the old grandmother's house. Now the mom was already on the phone. They said, look, he American. When he say 12 o'clock, I mean, we leaving at 12 o'clock.
Right.
And I'm not waiting. I done paid for this. I'm not waiting. Y'all just show up or y'all don't show up. I'm trying to get there at the time I can get there to enjoy as much as I can. Because they had to, they show 12:31, y'all do what y'all want to do. And so they understand that Americans have a different mentality when it comes to, certain things. And I'm like, time becomes money on that. I want to take it. I'm not trying to get there 5, 6, 7 o'clock and waste my day. I'm going to get checked in and start getting my drink on. So a lot of times they have this mentality when they come over, and they try to keep that mentality. And it's
and Fearless, I made it clear to my wife, you're going to lose that mentality. I'm sorry.
My wife had to do the same.
It's like, we sat down, I set the level of expectations. Like, hey, listen, this is what I expect. I don't expect my wife to work at no Walmart, work at no McDonald's. This is what you're gonna do. I'd rather have you focus on just finding a trade, get your certification, and going. And dude, your wife spoke to my wife. They speak to each other. So it's just like, nah, we ain't doing that here. We're not doing that here. I'm sorry. And that's the thing. A lot of guys don't realize you set the tone, you set the direction where you want your family to go. So, yeah, you got to set that tone early. It's like, hey, listen, I came here as an immigrant. I understand what it takes. I'm giving you the blueprint. I'm telling you what you need to do. Follow it. If you decide to do your own thing, I see you at McDonald's.
Exactly. I think that's the entire. But when you become a citizen, you inherit those rights, and those are rights that you should go with. It's the people who don't have any of those rights and then are expecting more than what they've ever contributed. And it's like, how do you get that?
Let's talk about American citizens. Hold on.
Let me say this. I'm going to ask you this, Kenal.
Yeah.
If you go to the hospital in DR, because I know, they always say you can't pay that bill, what happens to you?
Your ass ain't leaving.
You ain't leaving. You ain't leaving.
You ain't leaving.
You either leaving on a stretcher to the graveyard or you going to jail.
Thailand, same way. Philippines, same way. Everything. You can't go nowhere without paying that bill first. They will hold you hostage in that hospital or that clinic till you pay that bill.
How many illegals come here, had a kid for free, go to the emergency room for free, call an ambulance for free, all of that, and never have to worry about paying?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something that irked me. I was at the grocery store buying groceries. It was a family of recent immigrants, because I know they're recent because my girl told me, yeah, they're from Venezuela. Dude, they had a cart full of food. They had the EBT card. They didn't even know how to use it. I'm like, how the fuck do you have an EBT card? Like, how the hell you have that? You don't even know how to use it. Compared to, I don't know, that bothered me in so many ways, man. I'm like, for me at the time, I was unemployed too. So I'm getting my little unemployment check. I paid 40% in taxes and shit. And there's no way I can't even get a food stamp card temporarily. But they could get it.
That's crazy.
So
that is
like I said. All right, here we go. This is the one. Now we're talking about immigration. What if you're an American?
If you think that Black Americans can be deported, you might be a little bit tiered, okay? Because I don't know why I'm seeing so many people who are saying stuff like this, like, oh, Black people, y'all better be careful. Y'all are next. Black America, they're gonna start coming from you. Start coming for you. How? Where are you gonna deport 40 million Black Americans? Where are you gonna deport any Black American to? Where to? We're from here. We were born and bred here for generations upon generations upon generations. So if you think that Black Americans have anything to worry about as far as being deported, you are a fucking moron. I don't even know how else to describe you. You're a moron, because that does not make any kind of sense. Deport them to where? Deport us to where? You have to deport somebody to another place, to their original place. Like let's be fucking for real. Let's use our fucking brains here, guys. And there's no such, you're saying an immigrant Black American, there is no such thing as an immigrant Black American. Black American is an ethnicity that is born and bred here in the United States. That is our ethnicity. There's no such thing as an immigrant Black American. There's immigrant Africans and immigrant other parts of the world, but there's no such thing as an immigrant Black American. So we cannot be deported. Stop saying the stupid shit, you guys. Stop it.
Now, guys, I could get deported. I know I could get deported. My rights as an American citizen could be revoked, and I could be put on a plane or boat and shipped back to Nassau where I was born. I was born in Nassau. So what they do,
brother,
they ship you.
Cannot be. You cannot be deported. You are a U.S.
No.
citizen.
I'm saying worst case scenario. Let's say
you would have to. The only way that could happen is you would have to at some point in your life you would have had to revoke your U.S. citizenship.
No. I'm painting a situation where, let's say they felt like they want to deport me, because I'm a first generation American citizen. They could deport me because I was born in Bahamas. So it's like, you're born in Bahamas, Nassau. We're gonna deport you there. Now, for you guys, they can't do that because you guys have roots here over hundreds of years, so they can't do that. But someone like me, first generation, yeah, they can send my ass back to the Caribbean.
Oh, hold on, I got another video to follow that up, and this is a senator.
Right now, you're not going to believe this. stunned that I have to tell you this. Republicans just voted, every single one of them, to allow Donald Trump to deport U.S. citizens. Not like deport unlawful, violent immigrants. No. They just voted in our committee to allow Donald Trump to deport U.S. citizens. That's where this is going. They just voted to allow that. I've never thought I would see this before. I never thought it would come to this, but that's where we are right now. And so just on the other side of these doors is the hearing that I'm in right now. I'm going to get back in a second because we're still voting on other matters, but it's not shocking because this is always where it was going to go, but that's a dictatorship. That's a dictatorship. It's a fucking dictatorship when you allow a president to deport your own constituents. And learn the names of every Republican on the House Judiciary Committee because they just did that. They just voted to allow Donald Trump to deport American citizens. I mean, it's one of the most shocking things I've seen. I think my Democratic colleagues were stunned that they would want to give him so much power. But that's where it's going. It's not going to be a completed dictatorship, though, and I want to tell you why. He has the ambitions of being a dictator. For it to be a completed dictatorship, he needs you to not show up at the town square. He needs the press to not independently cover him, and he needs the courts to not hold him accountable. He should have a check by Congress. That's gone. These guys are not doing it. It's gone. But right now, the press is independently covering him. Courts continue to hold him accountable, and you keep going to the town square. So that's the sand in the gears of a dictatorship, and we gotta amp it up. We have to amp it up. Again, I just want to tell you.
I'm not going to keep on letting them ramble, but what do y'all have to say about that?
I mean, I think when he says U.S. citizens, I don't think it's Americans that been here for generations. I think these are recent U.S. citizens who probably done some extreme shit where your citizenship is a privilege.
I just looked it up. There's only a few ways that it can be done. One, you obtain your citizenship through fraudulent ways. So if you misrepresented something through your citizenship, then that way it can be revoked. The only other way it can be revoked is through denaturalization. And that only can occur is if you became a citizen and then within 5 years of becoming a citizen, you join a terrorist group. And they said that's even a very hard process to revoke citizenship even after that. And it says, as a natural born citizen, you are protected by the 14th Amendment and cannot be denaturalized or deported. So I don't know where you would be deported to, because I mean, just think about Europeans. Let's not talk about the blacks because they just say Africa, even though it's a continent. Where the Europeans going to go? I mean, Europe is just, what, you're going to go to France, you're going to Spain, you're going to England, Ireland, and a combination of people that you have in you at this time, where are you going? So I don't think that that's at all a possibility. That's just something that has been said, but can't be
I think it's a scare tactic as well. I don't think there's any way. And it said at the bottom, what the hell are you going to ship us to?
Exactly.
European, Black American, whatever. It doesn't matter. If you were born here in the United States for generations, where are you shipping us to? You're just going to roll the dice and say, oh, we're going to go ahead and go with Spain. Or we're going with South Africa. Who say those nations are going to actually say, yeah, come on in. We'll take them. Just like we have a process of trying to deport people in those countries are saying, hell no, we don't want them. You got to find a place to put us. The country has to want to take you. You just can't kick somebody. Oh, we're going to push you off to the border and go fucking figure it out yourself. That's not going to happen. You need a destination. Where are they shipping us to? And who's going to take us? I think that's a bunch of shit and it's misdirection. Go ahead, Kano.
No, I'm good.
I'm gonna play your last video, Kanal. It's the young man, and we'll go from that.
I respect your opinion, but some of you U.S. citizens are delusional and confused and don't understand your own country's laws. Like, I don't get it. The U.S. is entirely way too generous. Like, me and my 12,000+ followers can't just get up, pack up, and move to any other country just because we feel like it, touch down and be like, you know what, we're here. I'm finna start working. I know I don't got the documentation. I don't have this, that, or the third, and I'm not finna pay no taxes. What you gonna do about it? I don't know. I don't care. Cry about it. We can't do that. Me and my 12,000 followers plus can't just get up, move to North Korea, South Korea, Africa, Mexico, Japan, any place in the Middle East, and just be like, you know what, we're here. All those places stand on business. As soon as they feel like, breathe, taste, we've been here for way too long, they get your ass out of here. Who are you? Get out of here. You don't even look like us. You gotta go, big dog. I don't even care who you are. You've been here way too long. That's how they move. Why are we so generous? You know, the own U.S. citizens be in the comment section. Be all blah, blah, blah. You can't throw people out. We got rights. It's not fair. We should be able to welcome everybody. Everybody, what do you mean? Everybody else stand on business. Why we don't stand on business? Why we just got to let everybody in, messing everything up? They don't. Why do we have to do it? They don't do it, but we should. We can't just go there. They're going to throw us out. All those places I just named, I missed so many, but they not going for it. So why we got to go for it? They have laws. We have laws. They made theirs and they stand on it. We made ours and didn't ignore it. Huh? What are you talking about? People come here, don't even speak the language. Now we gotta adapt to how they speak instead of them adapt to how we speak. I can't just go to China and be mad they don't speak English. I should be learning how to speak Chinese. What are you talking about? I can't just go to Egypt and not learn how to speak Arabic. What are we talking about? Mad they don't speak English and they don't understand me. That's stupid as fuck. Come on, son. It's the own U.S. citizens with all this confusion, bro. We are way too generous and it has to stop, but I respect your opinion though.
Yeah, scare tactics, man. The scare tactics. But I still don't understand. Yeah, I think I said that.
Yeah. Appreciate your $5 super chat. You just confirmed what we already said. Naturalization of American citizens cannot be deported unless they are denaturalized. Government must prove you committed fraud obtaining citizenship. Said it right on the nose.
It goes so bad that say I crossed over the border and I wanted to come back and I don't got no passport, I don't got nothing. They can't stop me as a U.S. citizen from coming back to the United States. They can't just say, oh, you can't come back in. As a U.S. citizen, they have to let you back in the United States.
You got nowhere else to go. That's what I'm saying. Where are you going to push this at? Push us across the border and say, no, I'm going to shut the door behind you. Mexico's going to look like we don't own him. He's not a citizen. What the fuck? Canada's not going to take us. Where are you sending us? You got to find a country that'll take you first.
And that's crazy. And I can't even understand that some of these countries, like, no, we don't want to take back our people. Huh? What you mean?
You just admitted they're your people, but you don't want to take them back your damn self. But you want us to keep them?
You know what, Roland, there's a video I sent you where there was a guy. It's kind of like a satire video where the guy's like waving his flag, talking about Mexico. When the police came up to him and said, "Hey, let's go back to your country." Why? I don't want to go back. I want to stay here. But you just said that Viva la Mexico. No, I don't want to go. I want to stay here. So why are you waving your flag? I don't know. This is like,
exactly.
I mean, just don't make any sense to me, man.
No, Drew, they can't have you live in the airport. What airport? United States airport? You basically in the United States. They can't have you live there. Those are people who have they can't deport you somewhere. Say you're Cuban. And they're like, well, we can't deport you back to Cuba, but you can't stay here. Then you become like just a no man's prisoner. I know they had a big riot in Louisiana. They had a riot in Louisiana down there, man. One of y'all federal prisons. And that was the issue, that they would arrest some Cubans and they did something illegal.
Down in Louisiana, Angola, is that
Oakdale? Oakdale. And the problem was, say they get a year sentence, and then they can't go anywhere. It's like, all right, your year sentence is up. We've got to deport you back because you're here illegally, and they can't deport them back because they can't report them back to Cuba, and so they just become stuck, and they just would keep them in prison. So they would basically become a life sentence. And it's like, hold up, man, you can't keep me here for life. Became an uprising.
I'm trying to upload that video right now, so don't mind me. Go ahead.
Oh, I seen it coming up.
Don't bring me up. No?
Yeah, what you said now?
I just don't know where we can go and do those same things that others can do. I mean, just think about it. I can't, if I flew to, I tell you what, it's even me being married to a Dominican. I can't just say I can go there. I can't just all of a sudden be a Dominican. If I'm an American citizen and I was on a vacation, and I had a kid, I was a woman, and I had a kid in DR, I had a kid in China, I had a kid in China. That kid is not Chinese. That kid is not Dominican. It doesn't matter that I'm over there. That kid doesn't, I can go to Mexico. That kid is not Mexican. I'm not a citizen of that.
I mean, wait. Say that again, Fearless. So if your kid was born in DR, your kid is Dominican. He has Dominican rights and everything else.
I'm a U.S. citizen, and then I have a kid in DR. That kid don't become Dominican. That means that's an American citizen born.
I think you need to clarify that.
No. Okay.
The woman is not of Dominican Republic.
Yeah. I'm saying not my personal example.
No. Well, I can use my personal example. My son was born in Dominican Republic. He is Dominican. Oh
no, because your girl is Dominican.
Yeah.
If you're married, you just on vacation with your American girlfriend.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, definitely.
He's leaving out the woman not being of that country.
Okay. Shit, I made sure, like, I told my girl, listen, man, when you guys get back to DR, get him a passport because he has an American passport.
Right.
I said, but make sure he gets a Dominican passport because I want to make sure when he gets older, like, hey, take advantage of any rights you have in that country, man.
Land ownership, all that is
so
inherent in apparel. That child needs to be part of that country, especially in certain countries like even the Philippines. If I was to buy land, believe me, if I'm buying land, fellas, there's a kid involved.
But you're right, Fearless. Your kid is like for my son, he's instant American citizen. So when I did his paperwork, I think I got it within 2 months. Like American passport, Social Security, everything. Like he's American.
But let's go with this. I'm just saying, say your girl went to Mexico.
Yeah.
She's 9 months pregnant and she crossed over into Texas. And then she had a baby right there. She down at the border state. And all of a sudden now that baby becomes a United States citizen. I'm saying
by our law, by any other country, you can't do that. Yeah,
you can't do that. And I'm thinking, how crazy that is that we give our citizenship so easily to people who do not have anything to do with the country.
Right. Here's that video that Canal said he sent me. Hold on.
Viva Mexico! You're going back to Mexico? Please don't send me back there.
It's crazy, man. But you know what? The stuff that I'm seeing on TikTok, the arrogance, the ignorance, it's just amazing, man. I'm like, and you expect other people to support this? I don't think so.
All right, guys, we're at 1 hour and 54 minutes. I don't know if you guys feel you want to like allow certain people to come up, keep the panel closed tonight, and just keep on vibing out. What y'all want to do?
You want to bring him up just for the question and answer, not to keep nobody on.
Yeah,
And,
I got 15 minutes.
We're not going to belabor no points. We're going to move forward with the conversation. So
yeah,
we'll drop the link in the chat. If you guys have some comments on the topic, absolutely, by all means, chime in.
We just going in and out. We got about 15 minutes. Fearless ain't had, man, I'm going to let you know, man. For the first 3 days, I had sleep that I ain't, man, I'm talking about. I was going to sleep at 7 o'clock at night. I was like, my goodness, man, this is the best sleep I done had. I ain't had to wake up for nothing. I had the drool coming out my mouth, man. I was like, that's that good sleep.
That's good sleep. You damn comatose. You wake up and like, where the hell am I? Type of sleep.
Line.
How'd I get here? Who undressed me? All right. See Darnell in the background. Of course, I knew he'd jump on. We're going to go ahead and bring Darnell up. Let's stay specifically on the topic. We ain't going to beat no dead horses. What you got on the topic? Who really belongs in America? And I don't care who you offend. Who belongs in America? Right along with Drew G.
Hey, what's up, brothers? How you doing?
How you doing, man?
What's going on?
Hey, fellas, what's good?
Good, man.
We good.
Oh,
how you doing?
Man.
Where you at?
Good.
You in Hawaii or are you back here in the States?
I'm back in the States right now. But let me go in and out like Fearless says, pause. I just want to make this comment. So I work with a guy who works with a guy. And this dude was telling me, he was like, man, this guy I know, or he found this, well, this is this dude that approached him and said, hey man, I'm about to get deported. I need to sell all my stuff. He's like, really? He's like, yeah, I my 2 roommates, they just got deported and I know they're gonna get me soon.
He said they coming for me next.
Yeah. So he sold, and dude, I'm telling you, there's a lot of opportunity, I think, business-wise and even to come up if you got the cash. But the guy said, man, I'm selling everything in a fire sale. This dude said he paid $15,000 for about $80,000 worth of stuff.
All right, so I need to look for illegal immigrants that's about to get deported. I can buy their truck, all their tools. I know they got some tools in building them houses.
But hey, Fearless,
tools they done stole from Home Depot.
It for real, that's legit, because you know what? I was thinking about people actually being like an Omar of The Wire. Like, hey, they call the cops, let the cops or the ICE do the dirty work. They come in and scoop up the car. They come in and scoop up the tools, the equipment, because they can't go back home and get it. They can't go back home and sell it.
I mean, guys, there's construction owners are calling ICE so they can avoid paying the workers.
Damn, man,
that's crazy. That's unheard of.
That's just ruthless. I'm not that savage.
It's gonna get grimy. It's gonna get grimy like that.
Hold up, that's a Donald Trump move. Donald Trump does shit like that.
It is going to get grimy like that, where you see people who say, like, maybe you have somebody who's a legitimate restaurant owner. They call the because I always hate us focusing on the Hispanics. There are a ton of Asians here that are in the same boat as the Hispanics, but they stay so low key that they are overlooked.
Now, we can't get rid of the Asians, man. I still got to go to some of them massage parlors. You know, they
oh my God. Okay. All right. But hey, I just wanted to say that real quick, and I'm gonna be in and out. Hey,
Drew, let's get a business together, man. We just, we can hook it up, all ice and then get it.
On your next live, man. I'm gonna be in Texas in about a month, man. I definitely want to get some insight on spots to go and places.
What part of Texas? You can't just say Texas.
Dallas.
Well, yeah, you right up his alley. Fearless will probably come out with you.
Yeah, Dallas. We coming out there.
All right, brother.
Okay.
We look forward to it.
Okay.
Hey, welcome
I'll
a new person.
Wait, Ursa, you just left.
Ursa, we were getting ready to bring you up. Ursa, come back.
And actually, she had a question. She said, "What was your thoughts on Black Democrats crashing?"
I want her to come back up. Let her come back up. Ursa, come back up. Don't leave.
Yeah, I wanted.
All right, we got Darnell on the channel right now. Darnell, how you doing, brother? Where the hell have you been? Keep it short because I want to keep Ursa up here on the channel. Matter of fact, hold that thought, Darnell, because I know you long-winded. Ursa, welcome to the channel.
Can you hear me?
First time, yes, ma'am. First time. Appreciate you joining.
Yep, first time.
Yes.
Did you guys get my question?
Yes. What are the thoughts on Black Democrats crashing out on illegals? I think that is the worst thing. I'm not sure why, as Black Democrats, we are trying to support illegals who have no support for us. They only use.
Now I'm talking about the Democrats that we made rich, and we are their most loyal constituents.
That's what I mean. They're not supporting us, especially like in Chicago and places like that.
Yes.
They are not helping us. They would rather give money. Yep, they would rather give money to the illegals who are there than support the people who have supported them the entire way. So you have 98% Black people who supported you and got you elected. Yet your funds and your money and all of your bank goes to support illegal immigrants. I find that a travesty.
Well, they going to jail. I want to know your thoughts. They make us look stupid.
Here's the biggest offense, Ursa.
Yeah.
We were going through the anti-lynching laws. They were trying to get that approved, right? This whole thing with the pandemic happened, and some Asian people were starting to get harassed because of the whole rumor of the Asians bringing in the pandemic.
Donald Trump started it. Okay,
right.
Go ahead.
And the whole thing was they passed immediately a law against any kind of harassment to Asians, and still have not to this day passed the anti-lynching law that's been around for goddamn since the 1800s, 1700s, whatever.
Well, we wanted prison. We wanted prison industrial complex reformed, and Biden, that was on his platform until some Democrat shields or whoever, because a lot of people was mixed up with that during Black Lives Matter, and it wasn't us. I've been doing prison reform for a couple decades, and that was not us. And somebody talking about defund the police, that was not us. So, anyway, that's what, we just waking up now because we trusted the Democrats. I've been voting Democrat. I'm 62. I'm an Air Force veteran. I retired. And,
Thank you for your service. I know I got a lot of buddies that are Air Force. So thank you for your service.
But, it's just a stab in the back. And, they don't even, it seems like they don't even try to hide it. Anyway. That's my thought. Thank you. Because I could talk forever, honey.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for joining the live. Please come back. We have multiple shows, but hit the like button or the submit button on all of us. Black Man Travels Fearless and myself. I'm sure you're.
I will. Thank you so much.
No problem.
I love the brothers. Bye.
The brothers love you.
Yeah, we love you too.
All right, Darnell.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
We're doing good.
All right. Yeah, man. I just kind of, I kind of disappeared. I had a couple of health scares, but I'm hanging in there. But getting back to the topic, as far as illegal aliens and things, I'm actually with you. Like, as far as I don't have an issue with immigration at all, but I want you to come here legally, go through the process, like Black Man Travels, Fearless's wife, go through the process. I want to know who you are. I want to make sure you're not, Al Qaeda or ISIS or whoever, you know what I mean, or some kind of human trafficker, et cetera, et cetera. But that's why.
Did he just blink out on us or what?
I think some illegals done stole his phone.
Can you hear me?
Now we can. You need to sit down somewhere, man, because you have a problem with moving around and falling out. So you good right there, wherever you at.
Okay, I'll stand right here.
All right.
But this was believe it or not, a lot of people don't know this, but this was actually, or illegal immigration was actually an issue during the 80s under the Reagan administration. In fact, he actually came up with one of the first, to my knowledge, one of the first amnesty laws for illegal immigration, I believe in 86, 87. You know, his whole thing was, hey, okay, we got all these illegal aliens. Rather than spend all this money trying to find out where they're at, who they are, where they're at and stuff, I want them to turn themselves in. Because it's not the ones that come here to try to find a better life for themselves that I'm worried about. I'm worried about the ones that are human trafficking, that are peddling dope, you know, committing crimes. Those are the ones I want to worry about. You know, it's kind of like, if you think about it, jaywalking, for example, is against the law. But do you really want, if you're a mayor of a city, do you really want to post cops on every corner, you know, to enforce jaywalking laws? You know, I mean, you're talking about a lot of resources being used up. You're spending a lot more time and money trying to police, you know, small laws versus, okay, I want the big stuff. You know what I mean? The stuff that's actually harming my community.
So let me ask you the question that's on the table. I want a short, sweet answer. Who really belongs in America? I'm gonna see if you use the right word.
Who really belongs in America?
To the point.
I mean, I don't, well, based on, I have to say what the law says. Those that are born here, those that are born here, those that are born to American parents who already are American citizens.
Okay.
And those that are naturalized citizens.
And the last one is those that go through the legal process to become an American citizen.
Well, that's a naturalized citizen. So
yeah, or if you have permission to be here, student visa, work visa, something like that. You have permission.
Well, those aren't citizens. Those they're green card holders.
The main point is whoever belongs to America needs to go through the legal process. Period.
No, I mean, I agree with you. You know, it's just, again, you're going to spend, first of all, you're not going to catch every single, I mean, illegal immigration has been something that's going on since long before I was on this planet, you know? So, I mean, you've had Mexicans crossing the border for years. People coming after Castro took power in Cuba. You had Cubans coming across the boats, you know? So,
and I brought it up earlier that they let a lot of the criminal Cubans come over here more so than they let the ones that were having issues.
Yes,
so
that was.
Darnell, you're saying just because people have come over some time ago that it should be fine? I mean, people have been committing crimes before you were born. I don't mean we don't arrest them.
Correct, but as I was saying earlier about, you know, when I said jaywalking is against the law, right? That is a crime to jaywalk. But I don't want to spend the time, the money, and resources to police jaywalkers. I want the dope man. I want the pimps. You know, I want the murderers, the thieves.
But here's the thing, and if you really think about it, Darnell, even with you saying it that way, a lot of those guys have the money to come in through the legal process and go and act like they're legitimate citizens from those countries to try to get into America. They don't have to be illegals. They got the money and the lawyers to say, I need to process a visa, and they got the time to wait.
And when you say you don't have the money, Darnell, or you'd rather spend the resources, what resources are those illegals using up? Schools, hospitals, all of those things. They're using up those resources, so they're still doing it. You're either paying on the front end or the back end.
I understand your point on that. Like I said, again, I'm just saying, just as if I was president, I would want them to do what Reagan did. Again, Reagan has already done this. He did this in 1986, where he offered amnesty for those that were going to school and stuff like that, or had kids in school, that were working here and living here illegally, but had kids here. He created, and we're going to give you a path to citizenship, or at least we're going to vet you, start the process for you to become American citizens. Here's the thing, and again, I live right here on the border. Is only about a 3-hour drive from where I live. All right, you could put up the biggest wall known to man in history. It could break a Guinness book of records, right? And people are still going to find their way in. I mean, they're going to be digging tunnels, all sorts of things. I mean, it's crazy what they find on the border. So you're never going to truly stop it. But again, I want the big fish. You know what I mean? That's what I want.
Well, usually catching the small fish lead to the big fish. You ever been fishing? You catch the minnow and you put it on your hook and you get a bigger fish.
Yeah, and I'm familiar with that concept. But let's face it, with a lot of the people that do come here, that cross the border, a lot of times they're just looking for, opportunities. A lot of these guys aren't into illegal things.
So let me clear some things up real quick, Darnell, and it's no fault of your ideal. President Jimmy Carter actually started that whole thing with the in the 1980s with the Muriel boat lift to give people amnesty out of Cuba because of Fidel Castro. Reagan kind of inherited that whole thing, but over 125,000 Cubans arrived from South Florida into South Florida from the port of Muriel, Cuba.
Yeah.
Now, do you understand that Fidel also allowed prisoners and psychiatric patients to come over during that time? Well, that's the part I was talking about with the Cubans coming over here and allowing their prisoners and the psychiatric patients to be integrated into that group of goodwill amnesty program.
Well, again, at that point, just because I offer you amnesty, right, it doesn't mean that you are a citizen. Even under Reagan, they didn't automatically, have citizenship. They still had to go.
Black Americans in.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up.
Ursa, we couldn't hear you. What was your comment?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm typing something. I'm back in the chat.
You were talking and typing at the same time. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, ma'am. So yeah, like I said, just because you have amnesty doesn't mean I'm suggesting you automatically become a citizen. You still have to go through the vetting process. It's just, again, you're creating less work for me to come and find you versus, okay, you turn yourself in, I got nothing to hide.
The reason I bring this up is if you got a cooperating country or uncooperating country, and they're sending over their worst of their worst, MS-13, their psychiatric patients, their prisoners, and they're not willing to verify who these people are. Most of these people are smart enough to change their real names. A lot of these guys come over with one name and they change it when they get to America. And if the country is not willing to re-verify, how are you vetting them? How do you know they're a criminal? How do you know they have psychiatric issues? You're taking them in regardless.
I mean, well, again,
however, especially if the government that you're leaving wants you gone. They're not going to help the other country identify who you are.
Well, I mean, I understand that, but at the same time, just like, I can't speak on what INS or I think it's what you would call it, DHS now. But I don't know what their criteria is as far as background checks go, but I would imagine there is a process. I mean, after all, Fearless's wife had to go through this process. I'm pretty sure there was some kind of process she had to go through. They didn't just, here's your American citizenship. Congratulations. So,
and real quick, facts are good. You're absolutely right, and I brought up this point plenty of times. And even me and Fearless talked about this. He had a couple immigrants or people that were illegal aliens that worked and used other people's social security numbers in order to get jobs. You're absolutely right. There's a whole wealth of immigrants that are working here illegally under false social security numbers that are paying into Medicare, the retirement program, and several other benefits that other Americans that they'll never have access to will get access for them. So yeah, there is a pro and a con to this process, but it's still a legal process.
Yeah, but what he's saying though, he's saying they don't get federal assistance, but a lot of them do get state assistance.
Right.
And what they are eligible for instance, they eligible for WIC, they eligible for public education, they eligible for school lunch and breakfast programs.
And depending on the state, Medi-Cal will cover illegal aliens. Medi-Cal will cover you for medical inside the state of California.
Right. Well, Medi-Cal is California only.
Right, but I'm just saying there are certain states. There are certain states that will allow somebody that is an illegal alien to be covered by medical. Yeah.
So
cover California as well. I'm sorry. Cover California as
they don't have to learn. They don't have to. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. You can go ahead and chime in, Ursa.
I was going to say, I done food stamps. I was a worker. I was a W-2 worker in Wisconsin, and they actually, this was in the 1990s, and so I lived through all this. And I remember in Los Angeles when these Mexicans first started coming here, Reagan hated black people, hated with a passion, and so he said, it was a lot of police brutality in LA. And, then with mass incarceration with the 1994 Biden crime bill, when they mass incarcerated all of the brothers, that's when you start seeing all of these illegals coming over here. It was staged. It was by design. These people were our replacements. And I remember when I was working under Scott Walker in the 1990s, and all these people started coming, and I used to complain, and they called me Archie Bunker. You're just being racist, and all that bullshit. I'm like, because we had to hire like three people that were bilingual just to service, these, and I live in Wisconsin. I live in Beloit, Wisconsin. We got 30%. Foundational Black Americans. My family's from Pontotoc, Mississippi. I can trace my lineage to enslavement, and we got 30% Hispanics that are new to the boat, new to here. You can't tell though. And then you got the whites, and all them. So anyway, but this is a passion of mine because I seen it. I lived through it. I'm 62 years old. I seen it. And so, I got Mexican friends, man. I got this one dude, he from Mexico City. And, he crazy. He said he'll never go back there. But it's a lady that worked at the bank. She's Hispanic, and they harvest Social Security numbers. That's what they do. There's some crooked inbounds. I don't want to curse. But, all this kumbaya, and, you got these young people that they're doing them so wrong, and you got these other people saying, what are we going to do without these immigrants? Hell, what did we do before them? Shit. I mean, we made America great, and then you got all these low wage workers coming in, and then they're gonna call us lazy and shit. Man, America needs to wake up, because it's the Democrats got a narrative and the Republicans do too, and they're gonna tell your ass. They're gonna tell everybody. Americans won't do that work their damn life. Because I remember.
Oh man, she got cut off a little bit. Let me help out with facts are good. I think he said, Google how many undocumented immigrants are in the military. 0. Undocumented. You are undocumented and illegal. You are not allowed in the military. You can be you can be a green card holder, and a lot of times I even know a Dominican, he's a green card holder. And what happens is if you go through the military, they sometimes fast track.
You have fast track to become citizen.
Immigration, but you cannot be an illegal immigrant and go to the military. That is you can't do that. Sorry.
And
I didn't say that, did I?
No, I'm reading the chat.
No, that was somebody else.
Oh, no. Hey, I was in the military. I served with people I was engaged to somebody from Jamaica, and they were allowed into the military. I don't know how. I wasn't into that immigration shit back then. You know, it was brothers.
Filipinos, right? Same thing with Filipinos, some Mexicans as well.
Yeah. Well, it
process.
wasn't that many Mexicans back then. I was in the 1980s. There was a lot of DR, Dominican Republic, and Jamaicans, and Anyway.
So anyway, I want to welcome Obstacles to Opportunity on the panel. I'm going to let him chime in for a while, and we're pushing probably about 2 hours and 30 minutes. We're going to go ahead and end this. But go ahead, Obstacles. Welcome to the channel and welcome to the live. What you got on Who Really Belongs in America?
Shout outs to the whole stream. Shout outs to everybody. Fearless, Black Man Travels, and then of course the amazing host, RT in the building. Shout outs to you, gentlemen.
We all host.
Hey, look, I'm just a person with an opinion.
Obstacles. I got a question. You were in the military.
Let him get his initial comment out.
I just got a question since he was in the military. This person keeps saying undocumented immigrants were allowed to serve in the past. I'm looking this up, and I'm not showing that. It says,
I don't know where that comes from.
Never.
Yeah.
And so you got 1, 2, 3 people on the panel that served in the military. So, and you say funny avoided the part about immigrant taxes and low crime rate. If you are undocumented, you should have 0 crime rate. You can't come to this country. I don't care if you have a lower crime. You should have 0 crime. You already committed a crime coming to this country. And
the reason they have no crime is because they give them shit. They give them everything. Hell, they don't have to commit crime.
Yes, you are paying taxes, but you're still taking from the country because, one, you ain't paying for your insurance. So that means every time you got a sickness or something, you're going to the emergency room, which makes it entirely higher because you don't have insurance. So that means we're paying emergency room rates for anything that happens to you.
Bilingual education.
Yep. You're paying for your education. You're getting free school lunch, free all of those things. We're paying schooling. So per pupil, I think in Texas, it's $12,000 a kid. So what are you talking about? So if you make a minimum wage and you only making $24,000 and you have a kid, we done paid $12,000 just for your kid to come here. And because of that, your kid, we have to give them special learning because it has to be English as a second language because we are forced to educate your kids. So we have to have special programs in order to teach children who do not speak English. So I'm telling you.
Do you know, excuse me, do you know why they get bilingual education? Because of the 14th Amendment. The Chinese went to court and the 14th Amendment says equal rights. They used our damn 14th Amendments and then they turn around and they sued against affirmative action. That's how dirty these minority immigrants are. Okay, I'm done. Bye.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah. I don't know. Facts are good. How old your grandfather is? I'm a grandfather, so that could be way before me or around my time frame. I was in the military in the 80s. So again, in the 80s, they didn't let undocumented workers or undocumented people in the military. Now, if
they didn't. You're right.
If he had a temporary approval to be in America, and he was going through the process of getting his green card, and they offered him an opportunity because we're right around wartime at that point, and they said, we'll expedite your shit if you become an American citizen. We'll expedite it if you do service time. Same thing with the military. Guess what they were doing? They were taking guys that were getting ready to go to jail and sending them to fucking boot camp around my time frame. Okay.
Because that happened to me. That happened to me.
You can catch a bullet for our country, and we'll let you off whatever your crime was. So there are certain situations for everything, depending on what time frame that was, what year that was. It could have been an exception to the rule. But generally, if you want to fast track your citizenship, yes, they will let you in the military.
But they had a green card. They had to have some type of.
You may not be a citizen, but you have to be some type of resident. You cannot be legal.
Right. You came in here legally to do it, or you legalize yourself once you got here. Maybe you crossed the border real quick, and then you got some way of going through amnesty, and you did whatever you need to do to become legal before they let you in. But I want to hear
back in the 80s, though, they were letting in the black immigrants, the Dominican Republicans and things like that. They weren't letting in all these Mexicans, you know?
Right. But like I said, I want to hear from Obstacles. He's been waiting.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm going to let him chime in real quick.
Okay.
No, that's all good. I just grokked it, and it's pretty simple. Of course, in war times, they allowed some people to do it, but they had to earn the citizenship, so they didn't get nothing until they earned it. And that was a limited few, so your grandfather was the exception. All right, now, anyways, moving and fast forward to the actual main subject. Net at the end of the day, look, it's not even anti anybody else. It's just common sense. Every country has the same type of protections amongst their own populace and their own nation. So this is our country. You got to go through the process. Anybody doing it illegal, that's not right. If we went to Mexico, they wouldn't allow it. They do not allow it now. I mean, even people who were expats living in Mexico and actually following the rules of staying there 90 days, leaving and going back. The Mexican government got mad and was like, get a real visa. And they're like, no, we're following your rules. And they were like, no, we don't like it. And they started kicking expats out, right? Making them do it a different way. And so any country has the ability to regulate it. Even Mexico does it. And so we have to regulate our country the same way, just like any other country does. And it's a big thing in Southeast Asia now, right? Russians' visas are getting cut down to 30 days. It's just, this is what people do. And when we do it, we're bigot, we're racist. Who really runs America? Oh, it's so, no. Look, we allow people to come to our country, true, but you don't own the country. It's not yours. It doesn't mean that there's no border. And we have to establish it. And you can't let people psyop you and allow them to call you racist when they still have countries that they could go to and they wouldn't allow you to violate their country laws in any shape, form, or fashion. And so at the end of the day, I say do what they do to us and establish reciprocity because it only makes sense.
There you have it.
Yeah, I just wanted to say real quick. I mean, as far as the military thing goes, I mean, you still got to fill out the SF-86 to even join the military. For those listeners that don't know what the SF-86 is, it's basically a background check. They're going to take your fingerprints. They want to know where you live, the past.
And he keep moving around, getting cut off. Still.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was just saying they want to know where you live at every the past 7 years, etc. So I don't know where that's coming from about you could be illegal and join the military. I just don't know where that's coming from. But as far as taxes too, I think you said illegals pay taxes. No, they don't. I mean, because a lot of times when they're illegal, they're actually working under the table. If you have to work, if you work a job, for example, or if you get hired on a job, you have to fill out I think it's called the I-9. You have to prove you're an American citizen or authorized to work here in the United States. So I don't know where that.
We have to do all that paperwork.
Correct. So I don't know who, but basically, man, what I'm saying is whoever is saying like illegals are paying taxes, they're not.
They're not.
Yeah.
And they don't pay into Social Security either. That's the big problem because we got a whole bunch of people that are aging out and they are eligible for Social Security, but they have not paid into it. They've been here for 30 years.
I will say this, and I've done the research on this, and you can actually chat GPT it. They do have a statistic of illegal aliens using and acquiring illegal Social Security numbers to get a job in order to work, but they do not get the benefits. And it was up to 80 billion at the time. This gentleman is saying 100 billion, which is not too far off based on what's been going on with employment. Now, I can say this.
There are illegal Social Security numbers. Half of them are dead.
Absolutely. I didn't say they were legal. They were acquired by illegal means, but they were using them so that their employers can get them to work These employers knew that these were shady numbers. Let's not be deceived.
Hell yeah, they did.
Okay, let's not be deceived this part. But let me say this. Let me finish up with this, and we're going to go ahead and end this live. But I want to say this. No matter what jobs they were doing in America, they benefited as well. If it was one hand washing the other, who gives a damn? Okay? These were not jobs where they were contributing a huge factor. They were just doing regular work jobs, wherever factory or whatever it was. They were making their money and sending it back to their countries to support their families while they were supporting our economy working illegally. They were still being able to take advantage of whatever benefits they had here. And like I said, there are states that will allow illegals to benefit within medical, within the EBT system, and so on. So it was a tit for tat. And yes, they contributed, but they still did it illegally. I don't give a damn if you're a billionaire. If you did it by selling drugs, you were still doing it fucking illegally.
They sent the brothers to prison. That's why there's mass incarceration. And then they brought them over there. They brought them over here.
It doesn't matter. Right is right and wrong is wrong. So
it doesn't matter that they sent all the brothers to jail.
No, I'm not talking to you, Ursa. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the gentleman.
Well, I'm trying to get this point across. This is by design, and nobody's talking about it. Of course they're not. Yeah. Okay, I'm done. I'm done.
Of course not. But what I'm saying is, two wrongs don't make a right. No matter how you look at it, whether the company was wrong for hiring the people and allowing them to use illegal Social Security numbers so they can underpay them, whether the company is sitting there allowing these people to work and paying them under the table off the books, the benefit, it's still wrong at the end of the day. It's still illegal.
I'm talking about our community that has been devastated by mass incarceration.
Ursa, I'm not talking to you. Please stop. No. Just listen to what I'm saying. I'm going to close this down. Okay. The point is, it doesn't matter how it's being done. The point is the word illegal. Look it up. Don't matter whether you're on the right side, the white side, or the dark side, which is an illegal alien or somebody black being taken advantage of. You're still going through the process wrong. And yes, there is a punishment for doing things wrong. There are consequences in life. We all know this. You take a gamble when you want to take a gamble. When you get hit, you shut the fuck up and you take your punishment.
Hey, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Tax ID numbers are not illegal. If your name is John, if your name is Jose and you're using John's TIN number,
that's illegal. It's a federal document at that.
Yeah, what are you talking about? It's illegal. You are sad. You can't use somebody else's.
I don't know why you guys are entertaining this dude, man. Like I'm reading the comments.
Right. Go ahead.
Man, listen, he's talking shit.
Across the border, brother. Hey, great show this evening.
I want to say something. Again, I'm speaking as a former immigrant who came into this country illegally in 1978 with my mother. While I was in Miami last weekend, I was watching a Haitian radio station. Like now it's on YouTube. And do you know what the Haitian radio DJ was telling the Haitian people of not to do? Do not go on these streets and protest, and do not wave fucking Haiti flag in the United States. That's what the DJ was telling other Haitians, like, do not raise any Haitian flags during the protest. Now, if it's Haitian Flag Day, that's a little bit different because you're celebrating your day. But if it's a protest where you're trying to prove that you want to be within the United States, do not burn the American flag. Do not raise your Haitian flag while protesting because it's totally backwards. And I'm watching all these videos right now, like people like Latinos, man, you guys are not being smart about this. Why the hell are you raising your flag if you want to be in if you want to be within the United States and you want to be an American? Like, why are you raising your flag?
Because they've been pandered to. That's why.
And I mean, me as a Haitian, I would never raise a Haitian flag here in the United States. Just like during the when people were taking the knee during the pandemic, I stood up. Whenever there was allegiance to the flag, I stood up. I showed my respect because I made that allegiance to the United States. So when I see what these immigrants are doing or foreigners are doing, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And I wanted to ask you guys, as Foundation of Black Americans, how do you guys feel about people raising their flags in your country?
I can tell you right now, I'm in the Philippines, and I'm sure everybody else has been in other countries. No, there's one thing as a YouTuber, as a foreigner, you should not be talking about is political situations and government situations, period. It is off limits. You can be deported for talking on anything politically that has to do with that country that you're in. You're not allowed to. Unfortunately, and for some reason, we allow foreigners to come in our country and protest, speak against our government, but yet and still they get to take advantage of everything we have to offer within our government to assist them with them being there. I don't get public assistance being in the Philippines. You don't get it being in Thailand. You don't get it anywhere else. But you guys feel like you're entitled enough to come in our country, utilize our services, speak against our government, and then we're supposed to be happy about it. I don't get how that happens.
May I play devil's advocate really quickly?
No, we're not going to do that because we're about to end this. We're not going to go around and around.
This is a great conversation, brothers. Let's do this again.
Yeah, we probably will. But Fearless, you got closing remarks? Black Man Travels. We're going to go ahead and close this out. Appreciate the panel for coming up. The ones that did, the ones that are still here, and the ones that haven't. I just want to hear from our two co-hosts, and then we're going to go ahead and end this. We're in 2 hours and 35 minutes.
Come in illegally, you should be shipped out. Facts are good. If you like them so much, open your home up to them, brother. Give some services. Make sure you let them move in. Use your cable, watch telenovela, and make you some free tacos. You can do all that you want. Pay their medical bill. I'm just not going to do it. I have been traveling to many countries, and the rights that I am afforded in those countries, I do not. The Mexicans get way more rights, or whomever get way more rights in the United States than I would ever get afforded in another country, whether it's medical, education, any type of law representation, any of those things. And I don't care how much you contribute. Drug dealers contribute to the gross national thing. They buy Mercedes-Benz and get big houses that they buy on cash. That doesn't mean that it's good for society. So do it right or don't do it at all. That's it for me.
Black Man Travels.
Again, as a former illegal immigrant who is now an American citizen, so don't call ICE on me. I got papers. I think here's the thing, to my fellow immigrants, particularly my fellow Africans, my fellow Caribbean, fall in line, man. Like, this whole thing that you think you do it by yourself is not working, man. And it's like, you see how other communities are coming together against Black folks. My Caribbean people, you are Black. My Africans, you are Black. Fall in line and understand that, hey, listen, we need allies. And your greatest ally is the Black Americans. It's the African Americans, the FBAs. It is what it is. And you need to show that respect, man. You guys are taking advantage of the opportunity that their ancestors had set up. And until you understand that, we could really become a true community. And for my Latinos out there, you guys having y'all nigga moment. Y'all having it, and I'm sitting back and watching it, and I'm smiling a little bit.
Real talk.
I'm like sitting back, I'm like, yeah, because I was raised in Miami. I experienced a lot of that racism.
Real talk.
And I'm like, yeah, finally, you guys experienced it. And guess what? Black folks, sit this out. There ain't no need for you to do anything. Sit this out. I mean, we got Juneteenth coming. Juneteenth just started.
We celebrate Juneteenth.
Man, go out there, drink, smoke, dance, party, have a good time, man. Summertime. I don't want to see a single Black person in these protests. If you do, you deserve every damn rubber bullet you get, because you have no business there. I'm sorry. And to my fellow Zoes, to my fellow Haitians out there, man, listen, fall in line. Fall in line. Understand that you cannot do this by yourself. That's it.
All right, we're going to go ahead and end the live. Please, if you're following up with this live after we're over with, hit the like button. Let us know in the comments how you feel about it. Suggest other topics that we need to talk about in the future. Love to hear from you guys. Hit the like and subscribe button for each one of our channels. Appreciate your time. And with that, we are out.
I know I've been quiet for a minute, I've been grinding, still in it, I've been counting these digits, excuse me. I know I've been quiet for a minute, but I'm back on my business. If you see me, don't trip, just excuse me. Wrong, that's why I do me no matter what, so excuse me. Lie if I do, lie if I don't. The proof is in the story, you can see that, excuse me. The crash came when the cash came, spend it for you get it like those rookies all on draft day. For the love like it's match game, hit the ground. Really do it for my last name. They act different when the facts change. I'm not with the tit for tat games. In my own league, I don't hate with lane. Excuse me. I know I've been quiet for a minute, but I'm back on my business. If you see me, don't trip, just excuse me. Wrong if I do, wrong if I don't. That's why I do me no matter what, so excuse me. Lie if I do, lie if I don't.